Okay, hey y'all. I know I put the timer up and it still says 2 minutes 50 seconds, but I'm actually gonna start stream a little bit early just because I feel like it. I can hear myself. Sorry, I heard my own audio for a second there. That was scary. I got scared. Okay. Yeah, we're looking good. Let me just quickly get some water and then we'll start. So we're gonna start early, but actually we're not gonna start early. We're probably gonna start right on time. So 1 second. Chadic as the court language? Maybe. We'll see. Hold on, I can actually get the screen open here now. Alright, let's go over to here we go. It might be a black screen. Yeah, it's gonna be a black screen. Hold on. Also I shaved. Can't tell. Yeah. Okay, put music on. That's gonna be too loud. Hold on. There we go. That should be good. What's up, everyone? Stream. Woohoo. Stream. Let's go. Back-to-back videos. Does this count as a video? I don't know. That's a thing. This is like a live stream. It's not really a video. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Sorry. A little burp there. Rare CK3 stream. Yes. There is a video concept. You don't look good? Damn, that's savage. There is a what do you call it? A concept for CK3 videos that I want to try out on the stream here, which I have discussed with some other people, some other YouTubers. No, that's not, you're good. I'm just joking around. Discussed with other YouTubers, and I think it would be a cool idea. But I want to try it out on stream and just kind of see if it's fun, or at least for chat. That'll indicate to me something of a idea. Well, it's a good idea, and the idea is that I went through the game. I'll quickly show what I'm talking about. Also, a quick preview for the next part of the Mughal story guide video. I did all the recording for that for the next part. I'll show it off here. Chad Gamer Beard, yeah, it's gone now. This is what the Mughal Empire looks like right now, by the way. This will be published in a couple days, the story of how this happened. But yeah, went a little crazy. Decided to just go a little insano. Check out that de jure empire, though. Very cursed. Also, that de jure Ilkhanate. Pretty based. And Chagatai. Either way, what I have done, I should say, is I went into the game's history files, right? So you can go in here. You can do that through the actual game files, but I just did it through, like, the actual game itself. And you can go all the way to the bottom of the Byzantine Empire, and you can just, like, see the characters, right? So this is Augustus Caesar. And I'm like, you know what? What if I just made this guy in character creator, but I kept him below 400 points, so it's actually, like, a reasonable challenge. And then we just played as him, and tried to, I don't know, do something cool, right? That's basically what I did. So using the character creator, I'll go back real quick and I'll show this up. Using the character creator, I created Augustus Caesar, like, in a way. He's not an exact copy, but he is a form of Augustus Caesar. I don't know which year we should start in. 87. A nice mustache. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I had no idea he had a mustache like that, but it looks pretty sick on him, not gonna lie. Alright, let's see. So, I'm thinking about starting in Sardinia, because... So, I'll quickly just show the character first, and I'll explain why I'm starting in Sardinia. But if we load here, this is Augustus Octavianus, and basically, he's just that character from the history files, except he actually has, like, less than 400 points worth of stuff. He has all the same traits, the same education. I just changed his stats. So, yeah, let me change his dynasty. But, like... Octavianus. Unfortunately, you can't, how do you spell this word? How do you spell this name? You can't, save a, dynasty. So I can't, like, have this always load up whenever I, like, well, I should've kept that one, fuck. I just changed it, but it was such a good one. Give me something good. You can't have, like, a dynasty emblem saved as part of a character, unfortunately. Well, let me just quickly go. Wait, give me something like good. Yeah, I'm just gonna go change this. We're gonna change the emblem over to what's like. What was that wreath one? I want like a like that. What was that? I want that wreath that we saw before. Is that a nature thing? God, I think the system is really cool, but also I hate using it because I'm so bad at it. There it is. Yeah, this thing. There you go. That's perfect. There we go. So we're Hellenic. We're Latin. Block stuff I'd like to see here. I can temporarily remove it for you if you like. I can temporarily do that. There you go. There's our stats. This is what we got to start with. These are 400 level. He's a 400. Got a character. He's got 20 years of age. No special traits, but he does have 5 personality traits, which is kind of cool. But that's only because his historical character did, apparently, according to the game. And he's a diplomat. And we're gonna see what we can do. No problem. No problem. Happy to move it out of the way. Put it back on in a second. Maybe just check the stream health is okay. Let's see. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Unfortunately, though, my chat that I look at on my screen sometimes can be a little bit delayed, and I don't know why. Like right now, the what do you call it? The YouTube chat is like really far behind on the chat that I have, like that I look at. Not the one that comes up in the stream, but the one that I look at whenever I'm talking to chat. That's a little annoying, but how delayed? It seems to go in and out. So it's like sometimes it's like really up to date. Other times it lags behind. I don't know why. It's fine though. Have I seen Prophet Muhammad's portrait? Yeah, it's like the Shahada. That's what it's called, right? Is that what it's called? That's the it is. It's like the Shahada. Chalking to chat. That's what I do. I chalk the chat. Okay, either way, let's jump in as Augustus. And we'll play so now about Sardinia. The reason I'm playing in Sardinia, here's a fun little linguistics fact for you. Sardinian is the language which is the Latin descendant language, which is the most similar to what we believe to be like classical Latin. Well, not classical, but vulgar Latin from like the era of the Romans. So this is why I'm playing Sardinia, because it makes the most sense that he'd be from Sardinia, because it's the closest that you can get linguistically anyway, the old Roman culture. Presumably because it's an island, and one thing to remember about islands is that whenever you have an island, there's a lot less language change because there's not as much interaction. So you end up with like a stagnant language that doesn't evolve much when you're on an island. Are they coming up? Probably not. I'd be a little. I think it would be a little bit Monka-esque if I were to have a character named Muhammad and have it represent the prophet while having a figure for him. I can only do it if I were to block out his face in some way, because I being a Muslim myself, I couldn't help but respect the need to stop idolatry wherever possible, right? Linguistic facts, yes. Change from top chat to live chat may fix it. YouTube has some weird delay in order to make it go smoothly, lag-wise and visually. Yeah, it's not to do with actually that might actually fix it for me. It's to do with I use Restream as my chat box that I have in the front of my screen, so that I can know what's going, so I can read it for myself. Because okay, here's another thing. Okay, I stream on one monitor. I'm the rare one monitor streamer. So what happens is in front of me is the game, and then I have a chat box overlaid with like half opacity on the right hand side, so that I can still play, and it's click through. So I can't click on it when I'm playing. And that chat box is from Restream, and Restream combines the chats from YouTube and Twitch into one. And the YouTube chats usually come in a lot slower than Twitch ones. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Why does Muhammad look gay? I don't know how a person can look gay, but like if we look at him, I don't know how you can possibly derive homosexuality from this. But you know, to each his own, I guess. Mega lol. By the way, so we're in Sardinia. We are a Hellenic Roman. So Roman is actually not a bad culture. You get legalistic, which is really nice. You get Eastern Roman legacy, which is really nice. I don't like this very much. This one's okay, but I just prefer, I don't use spearmen very much, although archers are nice. And then you get hereditary hierarchy. I hate this one. I absolutely hate hereditary hierarchy. And refined poetry is like whatever. It's like whatever. Does that rule not apply to all prophets, or just Muhammad? Just Muhammad. Only Muhammad can't be represented at all. Didn't even know that's right. That's just an expression, probably. I don't know. I did not know. Whether I know the expression or not, there's no eyelashes to look at. God damn. But But yeah, the reason why in Islam you can't draw Muhammad is because Muslims looked at the time that Islam was like rising up, right? Like around like what was like the 6th century or whatever? I guess the 5th century and then into the 6th century. Christianity was like kind of the dominant religion, right? And one criticism that Muslims will often have of Christians is that they worship Jesus, they don't worship God. Some Muslims will say, it depends on who you ask, right? But some Muslims might make that accusation of like Christian, because we look at Christians as like fellow Abrahamic, worshippers, right? Like fellow God worshippers. But we see them as being too focused on Jesus and not focused enough on God. And that means that like in order to prevent that from happening to Islam, made it like important to never worship Muhammad, only worship God kind of thing. That's the big reason behind the no pictures of Muhammad, none of that stuff, no idolatry. It's to prevent Muhammad from becoming deified. It's something getting a bad king pension ruin a speedrun? Yeah, absolutely. Speedruns can be ruined by many things, let alone getting a bad king. Either way, playing the game now. Okay. How do you want to play as Caesar? So, obviously, we're going to have to do a lot of conquest, presumably, if we're going to become Rome. My goal is kind of to try to become, I'm going to try to become, Rome, if I can. I don't know if I can actually do that in one character starting as Sardinia. That's going to be a lot of work. I'd have to really, do some crazy shit to make that happen. But I think we'll at least try to reform Hellenism. So if we check the religion, we can basically do these 3 as a way to reform Hellenism. Probably easier than getting these 2. We'll see though. Either way, let's start getting Roman culture going. Obviously, if we're going to do any kind of research, we have to, get the culture out here, because right now we have no culture head because there's no culture on the map, so it's going to be really slow. Which I fixed that up. If both being Hellenic Ridge is going to be a nightmare this playthrough, nah, it should be fine. Are we an Umayyad or Abbasid Caliphate guy? Definitely an Umayyad guy, way more based. Let's go be a military focus. So despite being a diplomatic character, actually no, we can do diplomatic. We can go for accomplished forager. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. This is that then. We'll do diplomatic. Okay, I'm gonna get married, of course. I'm gonna go for good genetics probably, because that's always wise. It's interesting. I've had something of a revival, a revival of my interest in CK3 lately, which I'm really happy about because I don't like it when I don't like CK3. It's kind of my main game. Picked an Amazigh run. Yeah, Amazigh, that could actually be a fun one to do in terms of discussing the linguistics and the culture of Amazigh people. Probably my favorite part of any of the GigaChad guides is doing the research about the people that I'm working on. For nations like Russia, which is the video that I just did in Victoria 3, there's not really much to say because most Russian history I don't know all of it, but I already know a lot of it. But it was really fun doing, for example, Persia and reading about the modern history of Persia, which I did for that one video. I knew most of that stuff, but reading details about it was really interesting. I enjoyed that a lot. Which of the Debugs did you vote for? I actually didn't vote, just because I didn't really care. I don't really care. I just want them to make something new. I don't really care what it's going to be. Just give me some new content, please. I hope that whatever they make, no matter what pack it is, I hope it's a good one. That's all that I really can hope for at the end of the day. For those of you that are new to the stream, by the way, whenever I play CK3, I'm actually, one of the top CK3 speedrunners in the speedrunning community. So you're going to see me play the game, and I'm just going to be blazing at speed 5 the whole time. So if you're kind of like a slow burn CK3 enjoyer, sorry, this is definitely not the stream for you. I play this game at breakneck speed at all times, basically. So sorry for that, if that's something you're interested in. So I need to very quickly get a foothold into Italy, so that I can start raiding in this area. Because right now we can't raid overseas because we don't have longships. So your units, you have armored footmen. Okay, let's get some light footmen, I guess. Actually, they're not very good for us though. What would you like to see in Islamic or Middle East DLC? Hold on, I'll answer that after I answer which Roman Emperor is my favorite. Also, we got another kid named Augustus. Let's say this one, Julius. I don't know why not. Obviously, they're not related, but whatever. Favorite Roman emperor is hard to say. Probably gonna be Marcus Aurelius, but that's not because of his. That's not because of his stuff he did as an emperor, but more because of his stoicism and all that, which I really respect a lot of. But I guess if I had to think about his rulership, honestly, I don't know. because I don't actually know a whole lot about how the Roman emperors ran their country, to be honest with you. I really don't. Dynasty characters 87? I think that'd be fun to do, yeah. I'd be down to do something like that. To focus on Muhammad. I don't know if I spelled that correctly. I don't actually know. There might be. There probably are, but actually no, I don't think there are. I don't think there actually are. I try to think of any, but I don't think so. In terms of the going back to the question about DLC for CK3 that we focused on Muslim stuff or the Middle East, I think I'd like to see stuff around like interactions between the Caliph and okay, I'm actually losing a battle. Nice. Between like the Caliphate and very like miscellaneous Muslim rulers, and seeing that like develop more. Sometimes it kind of feels like the Caliph has no real authority over the religion, but you gotta remember that the Caliph has even more power over Islam than the Pope has over Christianity, in the sense of like the Caliph is simultaneously the spiritual and the secular ruler of the Muslim world. I think that should be something they focus on if they were to do a Muslim DLC. Is like, hey, the Caliph is like, in a way that, like, you know how the Pope is technically a higher power than every monarch in Catholicism? Like, in the Caliphal system, that's not just like a thing they say, that actually just is true, as you can see by like the Abbasids, right? I want to see that reflected better, where like even people in like Al-Andalus, because they are Ash'ari over here, they would have to report a lot more to the Abbasids in terms of how they'd run their country and stuff. I don't know, something like that. Also, Remy, the gimmick here is that this character I've made, Augustus, is ripped straight out of the title history of the Byzantine Empire. That's what we're saying. I'm doing pretty good. This character here is literally the same thing as this character. I just reduced his stats to be below 400 points for the custom character, so it's more balanced. I think it'll be a fun little gimmick, to say. Also, I need more units. Let's get some armored footmen. That'll be useful. There is no Caliph now. So nowadays there is no Caliph in Islam. Islam has been Caliphless since like the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Technically, if you are more radically minded, there is a pretender Caliph, which is ISIS. That counts in a way, but I don't think that actually counts. That's more like a terrorist organization. What do you get your music from? Just various video games. Video games I played since I was a little kid. This current song's from Devil May Cry 4. I just really like music from various video games. Especially based on history, what you got? Throw it to me. Trace the lineage to the past. Many Islamic monarchies trace the lineage to the past. I think that's every monarchy, isn't it? Is that really exclusive to Muslim monarchies? I would assume just about every monarchy traces their lineage to the past in some way. I'm going to grab Napoli. This is important because by grabbing Napoli, we're going to get access to raiding across the entire Italian peninsula. The Prophet, that's true. They are Saids and all that. How much we brought back? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm like, when it comes to religion, I'm one of those people that's like a beta cuck who's always like, hey, I think that organized religion is bad, even if religion is okay. So, I definitely don't think a caliphate would be wise. I'm completely fine with the currently decentralized nature of Islam. It's more important. Well, actually, no, control is more important. But, okay, rip. What power would the Caliph have over other Muslim rulers not part of their realm? I think it'd be something about, like, maybe the crown laws they have. Well, that's like a CK2 thing. Fuck me. Maybe, like, I don't know, actually. I don't know. You'd have to implement sister systems to make it work, I think. You'd have to implement some kind of like side system that would do something that would like add in ways the Caliph can exert control. So right now, there's not really any systems I would want the Caliph to control because none of this makes any sense. But you'd have to add in stuff. I don't know what exactly it would be. I'd have to think about it. Is there religion here? Oh, dude, I mean, I'm okay with a little bit of religion discussion here and there, but I definitely try to keep it to a minimum, right? Don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Dude. Red Alert 3 music? Let's go. I tried to play Red Alert 3 a little while ago, because I've been getting into RTSs a little bit more lately. I used to play them when I was a kid, but I haven't played in a while. And I wanted to play some StarCraft 2, and I was like, man, I don't know, StarCraft 2's aesthetic isn't my thing. I much prefer the aesthetic on Red Alert. That's like a super dead battle. Okay, rip. Let's wait until his mercenaries run out. It won't take that long. Which one emperor was supposed to be bullied in high school? Ooh. Isn't there like one child emperor? Probably that guy, I guess. Would you want an expansion on clans? Yeah, I think so. I think expansion on clans would be good. And if the clans should tie into, so the clan government type should first of all be way more distinct from feudal than it currently is. But then also, it should like tie into the caliphate in some way. The way I would want there to be some caliphal power in the world, I think. That's what I would look for. I'm just not sure what form that would take yet. So one of your mercenaries gone. Gonna be a little while, isn't it? Fortunate. I've seen AoE 4 is crazy. Yeah, it's too it's pretty difficult to get into competitive RTS now. It's a lot to do. Who's the true successor from after Byzantium fell? San Marino, every time. Have you found the Byzantine Empire being solved a lot more in this current patch? Yes, I have seen that. Your Vicky 3 content is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Slater. I appreciate that, man. I try my best. I like to think it's my best content to date so far. Although I still think my all achievement guide was great. The reason why Nero wouldn't get bullied is because he was like absolutely fucking insane. So he probably would have like executed people if they bullied him. So I doubt that would be the case. So damn, I'm actually gonna lose to Cagliari. I need his mercenaries to go away. I forgot how long they last. Yeah, Victoria 3 takes a bit of time. Privyet. Canadie, Greek, Kake, Chile, Segodia. I don't know what that means, but I tried to read it. Please tell me if I did an okay job. I like to think I know how to read Cyrillic a little bit, although not very well. How did I do? But I have no idea what that means though. Oh jeez. I'm actually gonna lose to. Okay, well, okay. GG. We'll try someone else later, I guess. Get screwed by mercenaries. That's not a good start. Nero was totally a theater kid. Don't say that because I was a theater kid. Okay, so I don't appreciate that. Although, okay, I should clarify. I was a theater kid, but I wasn't an actor. I did a little bit of acting, but I was a tech guy, so I did the lighting in theater, which is really fun. I really enjoyed that. Great mix between teaching the mechanics of the game and also telling a story. Thank you. I appreciate that. What? Hello, Kenny friend. What is the goal today? Okay. Well, the goal is so trying to create like a Roman Empire while playing as Augustus. We created this character Augustus out of the character from the title history over here. So I kind of just recreated him, and I'm trying to make a character, trying to like accomplish stuff. I'm not sure how well it'll go. I'm here to just kind of test if this is kind of fun. I might have made a mistake by starting off as Sardinia. Sardinia is always a very slow-paced start, especially because I can't raid without getting some lands in Italy, which I almost got there. Singing at theater choir, I picked up from the classical music class I used to go to. That sounds pretty cool. I wish I had learned how to sing when I was a kid. I feel like it's a very useful skill, but one which I did not have. I have no idea how to sing at all. You used to be better at reading Russian. What's the goal today? Dude, reading Russian is tough. Does Gus have a mustache? No idea, but he does in the game, so I went with it. I have no idea if he had a mustache or not. I feel like mustaches weren't really, like... Also, I forgot to educate my son. Fuck me. So bad. I feel like mustaches aren't really much of a Roman style, but sure. I think the age rate of legitimate claims of the title of Roman Empire. Probably I mean, I don't see why it would be any more or less legitimate than any other place to try to claim it. At the end of the day, what gives you a claim to the Roman Empire? It's like, well, I don't know. Like, is it like it depends on what we decide is the legitimacy for a claim to a Roman Empire? Where it's like, well, is it about carrying on like the Orthodox Church, which is what Russia's argument was? Is it about controlling the heartlands of Rome, which would be like, you know, the Ottoman approach? You know, there's different sort of things. Slow start, but it's potential with Argent-type mind and everything developed. Yeah, that's definitely true. They show is barbaric. Yeah, that probably explains why. That probably is telling the idea that Romans probably didn't have much facial hair going. How much money do you have? Hold on. That's not enough for mercenaries. Okay, we can take Salerno, surely. Now I can get access to raidable people over here. I'm going to say pops because I'm playing too much Vicky 3, but oh well. I'm actually losing. Alright, rip me. So far, this start sucks ass, and I hate it. Not gonna lie. I won't lie to you. This sucks so far. Let's try this again. Okay, dude. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. This. Maybe I don't. You know what? Maybe I don't start as Sardinia. Let's start as something different. I picked Sardinia because of the historicity of it, but maybe we don't do that. Let's try something else. Looks like a porn star. Yo, true. Let me go start as Napoli. That'll be better because then we can do stuff. We'll be able to raid. It's annoying to not be able to do anything while you're waiting around. Yep, so distracting him. It is difficult if you are distracting me. It's true, but that's also kind of the point of the game. So start the timer. Oh, that's true. Actually, you're right. I forgot about timer. Dude, I'm so washed up as a streamer. I forgot to have my timer up on the screen. So fucking bad. Thanks for the reminder. Octavianus. Autos, whatever. Give me a random design. There, red. Okay, just a design. Give me the emblem. And then it was in nature, and there was the wreath. Perfect. There we go. Augustus for gore. Yes. Let's go. Where are the base caps? What does that even mean? What is a base cap? Someone tell me what a rank girl is saying. The mustache, please? Nope. Nope, we can't do that because you see, the title, the character in the title history has a mustache. Therefore, we keep it, okay? I don't know why he has this mustache. It feels a little ahistorical, but there he is. We're keeping it, okay? Oh, the baseball caps in the background. Yeah, I don't know. I just took them down. I think I prefer the simple look, right? Like nothing on the wall. Those they're asking, I'll quickly demonstrate what it was before. Okay. It used to be like this, right? This was these are hats I got from the movies I've worked on. But like, I don't know. I kind of prefer the blank wall, you know. I think it looks better just a blank wall. Guitar stream when? I could play guitar on stream sometime, but I don't think I'm not good enough to be entertaining. 4.8? What does that mean? Why does he look like a Bollywood? True, dude. He does actually look like a Bollywood character. Height? What is 4.8? What? 4.8 meters? 4.8 feet? So I'm actually 5'10", I'll have you know. Short streamer. I'll have you know that I'm actually 5'10", which is above the national average. Alright, let's go raiding. Beely. Can't raid this guy? Wait. Excuse me, why can't I? Oh, I don't have enough troops to raid it? Oh my god, I need more men. Okay, I need to conquer stuff then. I have legs? I do have legs, yeah. Aren't they impressive? I need to get married. Let me just get married to someone with like super good, like, martial. Cool, and then you can support my martial. Because I want to do some conquests. We need more men for that. This is inch vertical leap. Yo, dude. Okay, hold on. I'll show you guys how good I am at jumping. Okay, you ready for this? Okay. I used to play basketball in elementary school. Okay. Ooh, you see that? Dude, what a jump! What a jump! I actually have no idea if that was good or not. 5'8". Wow, fucking midget. Oh, I'm sorry, that's probably rude. Fucking dwarf. Got hops? I do got hops, dude. You know why my legs are so strong, okay? When I was going to high school, okay, like I literally walked like from home to school, and I lived like half an hour away from home, and I also was autistic as fuck, so I never put my books in my locker. So I carried every single book from school, like back and forth every single day, you know, like all the time. Just because I didn't want to put my stuff in the locker, because I was scared that one day I might be late to a class if I didn't get my stuff out fast enough. So, uphill both ways in the snow. I'm Canadian, okay, so in the snow. Ask at all books, walk 3 kilometers per day to and from school. I walked about 5 kilometers, approximately. Barefoot? True, that's ADHD. Dude, I don't know, dude. I don't know what it is. I just say the word autistic, because I think it's funny. 30 minutes, because I was really good at walking. Okay, let me actually get distance. Hold on, I can just check the distance real quick. Barefoot, yeah. So let me, I'm gonna show it on stream, but I'll quickly get the distance. How long of a walk was it? From my old address. Let's see. It was. I see. So it was 4 kilometers, and according to Google Maps, it would take 40 minutes. But then I usually took about half an hour because I walked really fast. So yeah. Not bad. But yeah, it was only 4 kilometers, not 5. My bad. I rounded. I'm sorry. But still, okay, point is that's where the muscle comes from, okay? Any comments on the videos? Let's go. I see someone corrected my math about how GDP growth works. That makes sense. I probably did mess it up. I miss when I had a job that was 4 kilometers from my house and I walked it 5 times a day. I wasn't fat then. Honestly, based. So you can understand the normal systems like, you know, metric? Yeah, I think in metric most often. What is your opinion on Imperator? I thought Imperator was okay. I didn't like it much. I thought it was just okay, and I got bored of it really fast. I used to be a lot healthier too when I was doing university in person. And I went to the university I went to. I'll just dox myself, but I don't care because it's like, you know, this university has people in it from all over the country. So I went to SFU, it's Simon Fraser University, okay, and that university is on a fucking mountain, and I used to like the thing is it's on a mountain, right? So the air is like thinner, right? But then at the same time, to like go around the campus, it was really like hilly constantly. So there were stairs everywhere, and like everywhere I went, I was constantly to go up and down stairs, and it actually made me like the healthiest person that I know. Did I graduate? No, I haven't graduated. No, I'm not at uni. I'm not at uni anymore. No, I didn't drop. So it was the difference between dropping out and withdrawing. I withdrew. I did not drop out. My GPA is still really high, and I still have like enrollment. I just have chosen not to take any classes, meaning that I'm technically like withdrawn, but I still have my enrollment, so I can still take classes whenever I want. All I have to do is go and sign up for them, then I can take them. But I'm just like not really feeling school right now ever since COVID. But I will go back. I do actually want to finish my stuff. Chemist place like his brother? No, I do not work at the chemist's place. I work on YouTube. Although my brother is a pharmacist. So, good job remembering my lore. He knows my lore. He is the Jesse. Yeah, exactly. I'm the Jesse, my brother's Walter. That actually makes a lot of sense. That'd be based. We're better soon. No, I feel fine. No, let me make it clear. It's not a matter of like, oh man, I'm just so depressed at school. I don't want to go anymore. It's more like I just have other stuff I'm doing right now. Like I'm doing YouTube, and I've been working on film, and I'm doing a lot of stuff. And it's like, you know, I'd rather just spend my time doing this. I'm going to school right now. My age, I'm 22. Currently 22. Also, the problem with playing here in Napoli is that now we have like no troops to raid with. That's unfortunate. Rose winter semester, but their IML course is full. Damn. You doing movies? Yeah. So I work in the Vancouver like film industry, and the reason I say that so vaguely is because lately I haven't done any movies. Not for a little while, but I did work on a couple indie films, and I used to do a lot of sound work for like random films and stuff here and there, just because it made a bit of money and it was fun. But now I haven't done a film in like maybe like about 8 months. So last time I did any film work, just because now I'm kind of dedicated to the YouTube work. It's kind of like my that's like my new work now is YouTube and stuff, and Twitch. The porn industry? No, I not work in the porn industry, unfortunately. You know, there's probably a lot of money there, but alas, this troops. It is. You have any kids yet? No. Romancer, I guess. You never know. Okay, I'm gonna try to raid Salerno another time. Can I do it? Yes, I can. 3 months to raid this, so that's a long time. And I was going to reduce my troop count. It's too low to raid it, so rip. Okay, well, got some prestige at least. I have to wait in order to... I guess we just go and fight his army over and over again for more prestige. Looks like fun. Or I can just lose the battle. That works too. You hate to see it. You have experience in game dev sound stuff? No, nothing like that, no. I have experience, so what I did is I did on-site sound recording. So I was like someone who like held the boom mic in front, like in the for the movie. So the thing is, the nice thing about being the boom guy in a film is that it makes you so fucking like muscular in your arms. Now, I'm not gonna pretend I'm like super muscular. I have a pretty wiry sort of build, but like one thing that one side effect of working in film as a sound person with the boom is that like I am way stronger than I ever would have been if I hadn't worked in that industry at all, and it's pretty cool. Nice legacies. Well, sure, yeah, but the whole point of this run is that we're playing as Augustus, so I don't want to start as Haston. Haston is overdone. Does it pay well? It paid okay. Good as biceps? Probably, yeah. Although lately, again, I'm pretty sure I've lost a lot of that strength because I haven't worked in it for a long time and I don't work out very much. I'm working out a little bit here and there, but not too much. Just enough to keep myself healthy. Because with how I live currently, if I didn't do any exercise, I'm pretty sure I'd become like actually obese very quickly. Biceps reveal? No, absolutely not. I don't think I even have impressive biceps. I just have strength. Like, I don't have like one of those builds that very easily puts on muscle. I just like have built up some strength over time. Exercise? I just do push-ups and sit-ups. I don't do anything fancy. Now, a boom stand. The reason why you don't want to have a boom stand is because you need to be... So when you have like the boom, right, say I have it like this up over my head, I need to follow the actors as they talk. So if you have a boom stand, you can't move it. How many? My best record for push-ups is like 40 in like one sitting, and then for sit-ups I can do like a lot more. I don't know, I haven't counted, but I used to count my push-ups. 40 is about as good as I get on push-ups, but I will say my form breaks down during them. So I can do maybe like 8 in good form, and then after that I slowly get worse and worse each one. No, not 100 push-ups, absolutely not. How many pull-ups? I can do a couple pull-ups. That's about it though. Just a couple pull-ups. I can do maybe like 2, and then I get really exhausted. 10-kilometer run? I haven't gone on a run in forever. I hate running so much. I absolutely fucking despise running. Passing out. In general, so if I were to think about my ability to run based off of when I have to get a bus and I'm sprinting for it, my running is okay. I can run pretty fast, which is nice. I'm more of a sprinter than a runner, I would say. Again, because of the strength in the legs, not really the endurance, but the strength. But I'm also quite young. One thing to keep in mind is like I am pretty young, so that means that compared to people who are also 22, I'm pretty sure I'm actually not even that healthy. I'm pretty sure I'm just like relatively unhealthy compared to people my age, because I don't do much. I don't do enough exercise. I've been trying to lose a bit of weight because I gained a lot of weight during the pandemic, and one thing is like, so I was like about 175 pounds. Let me get that in kilograms for you guys. I was kg, not G. Fuck. I was about 80 kgs during the pandemic, and now I'm down to 68 kgs. I've lost like 10 kilograms since in the past like 2 years. And I'm pretty happy about that. But I want to keep losing weight. But the problem is I don't want to just lose weight. I also want to put on some muscle, but like it takes a lot of work, fortunately. And I'm pretty lazy. So working out, getting in shape. Well, that's good. Good that you used it positively. For me, it was an opportunity to never leave my house. And that meant that I didn't get much exercise. My height in European? Let me check. I am 177. Actually, let me check my ID. So in Canada, we have IDs that tell us our height. I'm 178 centimeters in European. Just giving out my entire fucking bio data here, dude. Let's go. Okay, now I think I can actually defeat this guy. Bigger than me, get wrecked. Get wrecked. I'm huge. Finally gaining a second county. What are you, an American? What's your... Well, how many centimeters are you? I presume you're like 5'9" or something. So great, we have the accomplished forger thing now, so I can get claims to artifacts. 26 centimeters tall. Not bad. 176. Okay, so you're literally the same height as me in American then. 176 centimeters. Well, I guess hold on, let me think about that. That would be like 1 inch shorter. So you're like 5'9", whereas I'm 5'10". He's just 77. Yeah, that's you're taller than me and you're about the same weight as me, which means you probably are healthier than me. Depends obviously on the nature of your body though. I don't know though. My workouts are really simple though. I literally just do some push-ups and sit-ups. Mostly because what happens is whenever I work out, I feel really good after. So I just work out as a way to kind of keep my spirits up as I do things. Oh, dude, imagine being Bangladeshi. Oh my god. People tall in my province. I'm usually a little bit taller than most people that I meet, and like on average though, there are people who definitely are much taller than me. But usually I'm about as tall as people that I meet. Most people are about my height in this province. I will say that the numbers are skewed by the fact that there are a lot of Indians here, and Indians tend to be a little bit shorter, just because genetically they tend to be. So a lot of where I live, the population is a little over half Indian, like Punjabi specifically. So it's you know, it's hard to judge the average because of that. 192. Imagine being 190 centimeters, almost 2 meters tall. That's pretty base. Bangladesh has really short people. We have a couple Bangladeshi people here. All of them are really short. There's I talked to a couple of Bangladeshis. Punjabis were tall. So Punjabis are relatively tall compared to Indians, but they're still short compared to like you know, compared to like Canadians on average. Like if I check like Punjabi average height. Yeah, Punjabis average between 5'5" to 5'11". So whereas most Indians are 5'3" to 5'5". So that means that Punjabis are like taller than Indians, but they're still relatively short. I was Indian Bangladeshi. Yeah, I get that pretty often. Yeah, the Serbians all the Slavs are famously quite tall. Like Serbians and stuff are really tall people. Russians can be pretty tall depending. Erythrean Norse, excuse me. It's turning out pretty good. Julius Octavianus. Pretty short, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I think we're not too bad. We're rather short. I guess it depends on what kind of Slav. I guess to be fair, it depends on the type of Slav. Because I know Serbians are like very tall. Am I Turkish? Yes, that's correct. Aishvari Kumar. I'm Turkish by ethnicity and by citizenship. To be fair, and by citizenship. But then I live in Canada. I was born in Canada, raised in Canada, and I'm raised in a city. I'll just say the city. It's fine. It's a big city. Raised in Surrey, which is right outside Vancouver in British Columbia. And Surrey is a huge population of Indians here. Absolutely massive Indian population here. So I know a lot about like Indian people, and I speak Punjabi pretty well. I speak a bit of Hindi. You know, I know the languages from here and stuff. It's pretty cool being from here. My mates in the army was 217. Damn, that's really tall. Holy shit. That is extremely tall. Good Gavatas? I don't know. What is that? What is that? Google that. Oh, it's Turkish slang for a pimp. Interesting. Never heard of that. I don't speak very good Turkish. So, I'm Turkish by ethnicity, but not really by culture in any meaningful way. I don't know any... I don't know any, like, any Turkish. Well, I know some, but not a lot. And yeah, the Mughal Empire personified. That's why I mentioned it in my Mughal Empire video. I mentioned it in my Mughal Empire video is that I am kind of like a Mughal myself. What's up, Lambda? Not real Lambda, but you know, fake Lambda. U4 Lambda. Yo, what's up? What's up? Actual real life Lambda. So what's next? I don't know. We can go conquer, like... This guy's got a lot of alliances, but we can try to kill him. That might help. 182 to 183. That's pretty good. Can I speak a bit of Turkish? I don't know, like Benim Adim Tarık. That's my real name. Again, I don't keep that hidden, so that's fine. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to say. I know random words like chorba is like soup. and like things like this, like these random little words and stuff that I used to speak with my family. Not really any like grammatical stuff. No, it's not. Tarek is my real name. Oh, you're talking about Zarx's question. Sorry. Yeah, it is in fact not legal, but shh, don't tell anyone, okay? Don't tell anyone. And yeah, I know about the Optic Tarek, the streamer that has that stole my name, Omega Low. Or did I steal his? You never know. Keep it a secret? Oh, it's fine. My name is pretty much public information, and I know it's going to be out there, so what's the point of trying to hide it, right? Even XQC's name is out there, right? Thanks for the follow. V. Fan Thomas. Do that. Alright, what am I even doing right now? I kind of just raided Benevento, and that was fun. But I need to do more stuff. I need to, like, conquer more stuff. I guess we can go conquer Sardinia, to be honest with you. Could actually go do that. Why not? My Victoria 3 moderation power so far. I've been really slow about it because I want to get this stuff right and I don't want to make any rash decisions. It's been fun. I've been chatting with some of the people in there, and it's been really enjoyable. I want to start verifying more runs though, but honestly, like, dude, I'm scared to verify runs because I don't want to like get it wrong. I don't want to like accidentally like I already verified a couple, and so far every time I've done it, I've like accidentally typed in the entry wrong, or I've like not really like I have like kind of skipped through the video a little bit, or like I've had trouble being certain that something was like legitimately done. And it's like, man, I just want to get this stuff right. I don't want to mess up. I am the super mod for Vic 3. I was promoted by Zarxos and Mikkelmar. So yes, I am in fact a moderator, which is lots and lots of fun. Monka Mega, yes. Very Monka Mega moment. I've doxed myself in all the ways I don't really care about. I'm okay with people knowing my name. I'm okay with people knowing the city where I live. I'm okay with people knowing my university. That's fine. I just don't want people knowing like my address and stuff, and that's not something I'll ever dox, so I should be okay. Reverb. I kind of want reverb, yeah. Thanks for the follow. Foreskin, appreciate that. You found your brother? Well, yeah, but to be fair, like, my brother, I mean, he has a public Instagram, so what are you gonna do, right? I mean, he's putting himself out there. Hundreds of hours runs in the queue all the time. Damn, that sounds like horrifying. Nice, there's Hellenic happily. I've only been to Turkey as a small child, so when I was like a little tiny kid, I had been to Turkey. I don't remember any of it though. I just know that I was there because my parents told me about it. But no, I don't remember being there. Oh, so yes, my wife is quite old. It's fine. I'm using her for stats, not for kids, so all good. I do have a brother, yeah. Robert broke me. Yeah, I can see how. He's pretty insane. I imagine, because you do EU4 moderation as well, right, Zarxos? So you're not just handling Vic, you're doing EU4 as well. It's pretty crazy. That's this before he actually finishes that siege. He actually did it though. I hate my life. Kill the peasants. No. Where'd I go in Turkey? I was in Istanbul. I was a kid. My family is from Maraş though. But they live in like they went to Istanbul early in their lives. It varies. Nice. Blobber's always got runs to do, dude. He's absolutely insane. I played Hoi 4. I have. I don't like it very much. It's not really my kind of thing. Like a guy from Maraş? Wow. I don't know if that's insulting or not. I have no idea. I can't tell if I'm insulted or not, but I feel insulted because of just the way you said it. Something tells me I'm intended to be insulted. Okay. I'm thinking right now. So the reason I'm doing this stream, by the way, is more of like a test of a concept. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm playing as Augustus. Am I single? Currently, yes. How do you feel about the new investment thing for Victoria 3? I'll talk about that in a second. I'm just gonna quickly talk about the thing going on here. So the reason I'm doing the stream is I want to test out the idea of playing as like a historical character. I did it as the Mughals, where I played as Babur, and I started in Transoxiana, and that was really, really good. That video did really, really well, and I enjoyed making that video, and I had fun playing it. If I were to do Augustus, I'm actually going to stop this. Again, we're doing some testing, right? So sorry if you're invested in the game, but I want to see, like, is there a better nation to pick for playing as? Maybe in like 1066 we could drop in as Robert the Fox or something. Because I think it's boring to start off as like a single account. That's just going to be a long time of doing nothing. Like, what are some good options to start off as? Like Apulia, coming in as Augustus over here, with a bunch of vassals who will hate me, presumably. What do you think would be like a creative, what do you think a creative place to start off as if we're playing Augustus? Because in theory, you can start anywhere in the Roman Empire's borders and justify it somehow. Like, we could start as as Africa in a way. We could do that, although it'd be kind of weird, champ. Could do that. You see how you look changes? I see. That's fair. So I look like an Eastern Turk. Wow, that's insulting. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course. Okay. I think probably Apulia is the best bet. This will probably be the best bet for actually having an interesting playthrough. Because I want to balance, like, starting off as a single count because it's more Pog, versus, like, you know, playing something that's kind of boring. We could replace Matilda, but I don't want to be a vassal because we're going to get wrecked by the Catholics. Or we're going to get wrecked by the HRE. Illyricum, we could start over here as this guy, maybe. A vassal overthrowing Apulia. Interesting, okay. Start off as this guy. This Palermo, that'd be funny. I do want a 769 start, that'd be really cool, actually, in K3. Yeah, we could do something like a vassal. We could play as Roger of Messina, but we could do it as Augustus. Let me try playing as this dude, though. We drop in, load up Augustus. Let's try it out. Okay, before we do this though, I'm gonna go to the washroom. I just realized we gotta use the washroom, and it kind of just came up out of nowhere. Be back in a second. One moment. Harold Fairhair, I've already done lots of playthroughs as. I want to do them again. Be back. Quick washroom break. I know it's kind of early in the stream for one, but I don't know. I just kind of want to do one, so forgive me. I didn't wash my hands. Make sure that I could get here faster. Alright, yeah, because she's gone. Like bear with the beard. I don't know, I go back and forth. Right now, so with my current hair, okay, I want to get a haircut soon. My hair is a bit too long right now. I look kind of girly with this hair. I'm trying to like... I'm trying to think of like how to fix it. Like, I don't know. Oh my god, look at that. That looks fucking insane. My hair is really fun to mess around with, but my hair looks kind of girly right now and I want to get it cut. But then, like, you know, when I have like shorter hair, the beard looks nicer. And then when I have longer hair, the beard, when I have shorter hair, the beard looks worse. When I have longer hair, the beard looks nicer. So I don't know. I like how I look when I don't when I shave, but then not with this hairstyle. So I'll probably get a haircut at some point in the near future. That'll probably fix it up. Although I could also grow it out and go back to my super long hair. It is in the no man's land phase. It really is. I don't know if I want to grow it out again or if I want to keep it short. I'm thinking about it. You guys got me thinking. Saving time. Yeah, being shaved is nice because I think it makes me look younger. But, eh. What did you miss? Not much, not much. We're kind of... I'm experimenting a bit with playing as Augustus here. Also, timer. Is the way to handle the hair? Right now the hair is fine. My hair is really nice. I have hair that doesn't need much maintenance. Let's go conquer these guys. I'm lucky in that my hair is very workable. Okay, let's get someone. This one looks good, sure. Some Pecheneг girl. That's nice. So I'm gonna move most of my domain probably over to Sicily. It's got really good counties there. We'll see if this is good or not. I think playing as Apulia is gonna be the wise decision. Biracial Mongol, I braid my hair. Yo, easy. Yo, you should be Mongol / Viking so that you can have double excuses to braid your hair. Easy clap. Wouldn't that be amazing? Music is so good, dude. I gotta play more. I gotta speedrun more Metal Gear Rising. You guys remember when I speedran Metal Gear Rising? Those are good times, man. Someone's getting murdered, I guess. That's fine. I like how my family is like Anjivan. I didn't really intend for that, but it's fine. Fucking cool, not gonna lie. Honestly true. What's this? Independence faction? Oh, let me get some alliances. Isha, sure, he can come save us. Russia's worst nightmare. True. Ooh. Alright, so if we can get all the bastards to rise up, that'd actually be amazing. Because then I can destroy get all their titles away from them. I'm gonna tell this guy to come help me. He hopefully will get down here relatively soon. I'm gonna wait and see what these guys choose to do. Okay, that guy's over there about to already siege down Sicily. Grow a wolf tail? No, absolutely not. That sounds like some furry shit. Not gonna lie. The new Bill C-11. So there's an interesting thing with Canada where, like, Canada really wants to like protect its culture from the effects of other nations' cultural influences. That's why in Canada, radios are required to post like a certain amount of. So in Canada, there's a law where a radio station has to, by law, post a certain number of Canadian-born and Canadian-raised like musicians. And they're kind of trying to apply that to, they're trying to apply that essentially to YouTube, which I don't know how I feel about because, like, YouTube is a non-Canadian entity. I think it makes sense to have such a policy for, like, your own, like, national broadcasts and stuff. Also, fuck, we're actually getting fucking destroyed, bro. Holy shit. That's not good. Ripperino. Let me see if I can occupy someone's capital. We just need to occupy really anyone's capital to get ticking war scores. Let's try that. It is America, basically. That's the one that Canada's worried about, is American cultural influence. So, you know, that's like one solution, I guess. But then I think that it's doesn't really make sense. Oh my god, I'm stuck again, bro. Okay, well, the rip. Hold on, let's try this again. Good national identity. I agree with that, yeah. Although I think it doesn't make sense to apply to YouTube. It doesn't make any sense to apply to YouTube. It makes sense to like it makes sense to maybe with your radio stations or with your nationalized news, stuff like that. I approve of that. Not with YouTube. I don't like it. But like samosas, I love samosas. I actually have samosas in my freezer right now that I can put in the oven later. I thought the San Pellegrino still had some stuff in it, but I had like barely anything in it. Rip. Superiority complex? Yeah, I mean, a little bit. What is Canadian identity? I'd say Canadian identity is like, it's very, like, what do you call it? Difficult to pin down. Why is this loading? Hold on. There we go. It's difficult to pin down Canadian identity. But I think in general, I would describe it as like being like focusing on. So in America and Canada, you have like many different ethnicities living together, right? In America, the way that they do it is that every ethnicity becomes an American, and then in Canada, the way that we do it is like every ethnicity kind of like contributes a bit of their culture into Canadian culture and takes a bit, gives a bit. It's like this exchange. It's a cultural exchange. Is a good way to put it. So Canada's sort of culture to me is like a mishmash of the influence it takes in through its immigration. And then it's also a country that's much more about like recognizing the sins of the past, sometimes too much so. I think sometimes Canada can be a little bit too like groveling with its past, because Canada has a pretty, I know we talk about Canada being really nice, but Canada's done some really horrific things in its past. And yeah, Quebecois culture is obviously a completely different thing. That's like its own subculture. That's sort of what I think of when it comes to Canada. It's like, okay, it's like the give and take of many different world cultures coming together in one place, where the goal is ultimately to live good lives and stuff like that. Oh, what's this? Tyranny War suddenly? Okay, I don't even know what that event was. I just clicked it. Get a good alliance, I guess. I might just lose this run again. Lol. How hard is migrating to Canada? If you're a skilled immigrant, it's quite easy. If you're not, it's much harder. So we just lose immediately. Fuck me. Okay, I actually need to play smart. I'm getting too distracted. I need to actually play smart if I'm gonna do this. I could assume promotes Maori culture. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff. I think that kind of thing is important. Like paying homage to the natives of your region and stuff. In Canada, Native American, First Nations as we call them, but Americans love as Native Americans, is like it's a really important issue for Canadians. Well, at least supposedly anyway. A lot of Canadians pretend they care. A lot of them don't actually, though. I'm American, but my ancestors were Acadian and Quebecois French. Yeah, so the equivalent of like, you know, Quebecois people here in Canada is like Louisiana French people, like literally. You know, they're their own little subculture, but they're still inherently Canadian / American, respectively. Okay, so how do I want to handle this? I need to get control of my vassals' land away from them. The best way to do that, raise crown authority. And I gotta revoke stuff, but the problem is that they're all gonna rise up against me. Okay. Wait till they rise up against me. Maybe they'll make a faction against me. In the meantime, conquer this dude. I'm just gonna try to conquer people to get myself some domain and stuff. Go back to Canadian identity. The identity, I think, is built up around the sense of like the culture being composed of the bits and pieces of every other culture that comes to it. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Like, I think that it's interesting, a country whose identity is built up around, like, being a little, not necessarily identityless, but which is built up around being a continuously constructed identity, which is not necessarily held down in one place. I can't think of any particular Canadian, like, value that's like, yes, this is the eternally Canadian value. It's like, well, the one eternal Canadian value is there isn't really an eternal one. It's that it's always evolving based on the makeup of the place that you live. Um, and it's interesting to see that. I think that's really interesting. For the most part, though, it's definitely like liberalism in the sense of like, you know, capitalism, freedom, that kind of thing. Your classic American stuff. You know, that kind of thing applies to Canada too. You only got 2 people rising up this time, which is good. They're coming. Let's back it up a little. Is that just the entire West of globalism migration? No, I wouldn't argue that. So what's an example of like an American value? I think that Canadian culture is constantly evolving, like every culture is, but that constant evolution is somewhat aimless, which is unlike a lot of other cultures. So to me, like when I think of like America, there are certain sort of enshrined values in like American culture, which will probably never change. I don't imagine like Americans ever like widely becoming like anti-gun. I know that like anti-gun stuff's getting more popular in America, but for the most part, that's just stuff like trying like people that fight for anti-gun legislation in America don't want to get rid of guns. They want to make it harder to get them or make it more regulated, right? But Americans still love their guns. No matter who you talk to, Americans love their guns. Remember, we here in Canada are a lot less of a gun culture, generally speaking. People still like guns here, but just not to the scale that you see in America. There's very few Americans who actually want to eliminate guns from American culture. They exist, but they're the minority for sure. Well, let's actually go. I'm scared about this word. I'm scared about this dude. I mean, guns are a very American thing, right? Fine, bombs fast is okay. Actually, not fine, because it means I can't revoke titles now. Fuck me. Sorry, pal. Okay, why is this actually so, like, difficult to start off like this? I guess because being Hellenic Roman means no one likes me. Like, damn. Used to be easier? Yeah, in a way, Cagliari actually is kind of a easier start, because we have control over the domain. Let me, here, let me do something else. Hold on, I have one more thing I'll try with this. Another thing I would say is deeply ingrained in, like, American culture, which probably will never go away, is like the sense of like egalitarianism. And I think that Canada has that too. That's one of the things we also have. But like in America, like when people come to America, they become Americans, right? And by that, what I mean by that is that you don't see as much kind of like splintering off of subcultures in America besides what already exists. And it takes a lot longer for that to happen. Whereas in Canada, like we've only had like the first large immigrations of like Punjabi people. So like if I look at like Canadian Punjabi migration, right? The first, like, sort of big Punjabi migrations to Canada were in, like, I think in, like, the 1920s. Let's see. Yeah, the 1920s, okay. So 1920s, you had a lot of Punjabis coming to Canada. And right now, like, they're still, like, they're becoming more and more, they're not more and more, they have always been their like own little subculture that hasn't really become Canadian in the sense that like they still have their language, they still have their religion, they still have like most of their culture. And I can go outside right now and I could find like a Punjabi guy and speak Punjabi with him really easily. Like, well, not really easy, I'm very bad at Punjabi, but I could find a guy and speak Punjabi with him like it's like nothing, right? Whereas in America, I think you have a lot more immigrants who come here, or come there, I should say. First generation, they know their native language. The next generation, their kids, they no longer know it. They already have like assimilated into American culture. Whereas Punjabis have been here for generations, almost like more than a century at this point, and they still know Punjabi. They're still Sikhs. They haven't become Christians or anything. Like it's much rarer, I think, in America to have something like that happen, because the sense of assimilation is much stronger. I think anyway. I don't know. I'm not necessarily certain of that. That's something I feel. I'm not gonna pretend like I have stats to back that up or anything. Hey, we try Palermo. This could actually be good. Let's do Palermo. I think that'll be a good one. Because I think Palermo we'll be able to expand pretty nicely as Palermo. It's a good county. In 2 words, how did Canada become independent? Oh, it's because of World War I and Canadians having the most dangerous mission set up. Like, how did it happen? Well, basically, Pierre Trudeau, our prime minister in the like, was it the 80s or? Oh, Pierre, when was he prime minister? I forgot. Sorry, in the 40s. I don't know why I thought it was the 80s. Or wait, hold on. It was the 80s. Wait a minute. I'm right, am I? Yeah, okay, it was the 60s to the 80s. He was the longtime prime minister, right? It was 60s to the 80s, and in that time, he basically, like, we were still like a subject of Britain officially, and over time we just got more and more and more and more like sort of autonomous, like over time, right? Just through like, you know, doing like, remember the big thing was that Canada like during the Gallipoli stuff in World War One, right? In the Gallipoli stuff of World War One, at like Gallipoli, this area, there was like Canadian soldiers like did refuse to go on this mission, so instead Australians went, and that was one example of like Canadian autonomy and stuff. You know, that was like a thing that happened. That Canadians kind of just became more autonomous, and Britain couldn't do anything about it. What was Britain gonna do, right? And eventually, Pierre Trudeau wrote up the Constitution Act, where he created a Canadian Constitution, and that meant that like Canada became basically completely independent, because then judicial power was held in Canada's hands, not in Britain's hands. So before that, before the 80s, like Supreme Court stuff was in Canada. We had Supreme Court stuff, but it was all based on like British constitutions. But then we had our own constitution created in the 80s. I think it was in the 80s. Might have been the 70s. But the point is that it was recent, relatively recent, that we got our own constitution, and that changed everything, and then we became properly independent. Although the King of England is currently still our head of state officially, so it's kind of a thing. It's not really a thing. Okay, so it's also coming in. People who come from Mexico don't seem to try to make their kids learn Spanish. I remember in high school playing secondary kids in Latin America were failing Spanish. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for the description, by the way, George Monroe. In America, you have the example of Latin Americans, where a lot of times, barring the ones that come right away, right? So the like the immigrants that arrive in the Southern American states, like first generation immigrants, just like in Canada. First generation immigrants are obviously going to know their language because they're from their country, right? But in America, I would say broadly, again, this is broad, so please don't, you know, it is a broad statement. Generally speaking, within the second or third generation, you're going to have like a monolingual kid. You're going to have a kid that only knows English within the second or third generation. In Canada, is not the case. In Canada, like, the, not vast majority, but I would say a solid majority, maybe a massive minority, of second and third generation people speak their native language, like, fluently, you know? And they have a strong connection to their culture, whereas in America they might not have so much of a connection. I'm getting sidetracked again. I fucking hate it. I hate this. I'm getting sidetracked. Someone else asked a question about how isn't Canada, like, falling apart because of trouble from migrants or whatever? The answer to that is that we don't treat our migrants like crap. So one thing to remember is that if you have like a desperate group of people, so let's use if imagine France is America, Spain's Mexico, weirdly appropriate, okay? If you have like poor people from Mexico who are desperate, right, and they try to like break into like, you know, France, right, or America in this case, and they're treated poorly, and they're sort of segregated into regions where they're going to be treated like criminals, right? Then you're going to have people be doing bad things to get by. And like that usually happens because they're desperate enough to need to do that, right? And they're treated very poorly. But then if you treat them well and they come to the country and you let them have jobs, you don't threaten to, you know, deport them constantly, you don't allow them to form gangs, you try to have a supportive community, they're not going to do as many crimes, as many bad things. In Canada, crime is not like overly represented in minorities, which is really cool. In Canada, like, you might have some regions where crime happens more with minorities, something like that, but it might be some particular scenario. But generally speaking, you don't see this weird thing where, like, oh, if you're a migrant, you're way more likely to cause crime. It's like, nah. It's nice. The Mexican border is the cartel violence forced people's hands. Yeah, that's true. The desperation, right? It's like crap, we give them jobs, free food, education, etc., and they rape sheep and still in riot. Okay, Hank sounds like you're reminding me of like early like 2016 discourse about like Muslim migrants. You'll probably find I don't have stats on me, but you'll probably find that they do that a lot less than you might think. It's just that you have some biased sources. Most people just want to get by in their lives. Most people just want to live their lives. They don't want to do things like that. So damn, you're the only person with heritable traits. Oh shit. Okay. Can I get someone relatively young? There we go. Like, I obviously don't know the situation in Germany as well as, say, a German would. I'm not going to pretend like, oh yeah, I know what's going on in Germany. But I imagine that a lot of that is biased stats that you're looking at. Okay, so I have 578 troops, pikemen and mangonels. Hair, mustache, and beard, I shaved it. This is a Turk, yeah, this is a Pecheneg, which is a kind of Turk. Yeah, most people, look, at the end of the day, most people are just trying to live their lives, you know, and, like, a lot of times, like, you'll have, sort of disingenuous people who want to blame their problems on immigrants and stuff. It's not really a valid argument, usually. The only time that an immigrant is more likely to be a criminal is when you make them into criminals by discriminating against them. Usually. There will always be exceptions, obviously. But, you know, we don't live by exceptions, right? Damn, easy battles, let's go. You can rate that, that's good. Get, more armored footmen. Cool. Learn Arabic, I guess. If we'll have some issues, well, sure. You might not have the infrastructure to support new immigrants, so obviously, if you're bringing in so many immigrants that you don't have, like, the infrastructure in your country to support those people, then yeah, you're gonna have problems. But that's an issue of overpopulation, not an issue of immigration particularly. Right? It just depends on the situation. Immigrants also blame the Aborigines of their country for their problems. Sometimes they do. Again, individuals are their own thing, right? For the most part, yeah, I would agree with that. Always in. Like, I think that, as with anything, a balanced approach is always going to be the best approach, right? So you don't want to just, like, suddenly flood your country with new people who haven't had time to integrate to some extent. But you also, like, you know, can't blame everything that happens to everything that they do wrong as on them. I was going to say Tarkus, so this is Julius. Looking at current house prices, housing is a bubble in Canada, and one day it will burst, and that's going to be really painful. Timer. It's going to be really painful for everyone, but it is what it is. We'll see. Exactly, I agree, Lambda, yeah. There's good and bad people everywhere. That's a bit of a catch-all statement, but... It's just the way Canada full open border. Yeah, exactly. I don't believe in completely open borders either. I believe in vetting. So obviously here in Canada, we talked about how amazing Canada is with immigration. Thanks for the subscription, Dexter. Amazing Canada is with immigration. At the end of the day, we still vet. We vet really hard. In Canada, if you have no, like, qualifications, getting into Canada is really hard. If you're not educated, if you're not, like, you know, able to contribute to the country in some way, it's gonna be tough to get into Canada. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's just that's just like a reality of getting to Canada. We don't just let anyone in. But if you're a refugee or if you're, like, you know, able to contribute to the country, you have no problem getting in at all. Refugees come in all the time. So to me, if your culture has opposites to Canadian values, I think that the only thing you have to abide by in Canada is the laws. So any culture which exists, as long as it doesn't have cultural values that break laws in Canada, I see no reason why it can't come here. So for example, Muslims, some Muslims, this is quite the minority, but some of them are polygamists, right? So some Muslims believe in having multiple wives. That's, to be very clear, that's like a super minority of them, right? But let's say they come here and you have like a Muslim that comes to Canada, they're gonna have to accept that polygamy breaks the law in Canada. Therefore, you have to not be polygamist. That's how it is. Other than that, I don't see why any person should have to change their values to suit the country they live in. What's this? Oh no, Robert the Fox is coming after me. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh my god. Why is the AI being aggressive? Normally they never do anything to me, dude. This is BS. Here's what we do. We're gonna try to just backdoor him, I guess. I hope it goes well. See who wins first, I guess. You got the start on me. What taxation laws? What do you mean with taxation laws? What is that even reference to? God, he has the war goal. I'm so screwed. I'm already so screwed, dude. Okay, can I just, like... Oh man, I can't get rid of this kid. I was gonna say, oh, he's got my heir and my second heir, holy shit. Or rip. You could just rotate wives? Yeah, in a way. That have a lot of legal ramifications, but sure, you could. Opium religious Mormon, yeah. I guess talk about taxes, about healthcare. Okay, well, we'll talk about healthcare in a little while. Healthcare is interesting. Should a Christian got a claim through the Pope on a Puglia or the HRE? Well, sure, but I'm trying to play as like a Roman guy. Okay, hold on. I gotta think about this more. Let's go 867. I guess Sardinia is the best pick then. It seems to be the one that actually is like possible and not just horrifically painful to play as. I guess we gotta go Sardinia. A little bit slow, but it's fine. Let's go for this run. I want to play as Augustus, and I want to form Rome as like a Roman Hellenic. So it's a little bit tough though. I'm just trying to pick the best option right now. Here's the thing, it's completely legal. Yeah, those reasons illegal. Exactly, yeah. So you could just do that. The thing is, Hank, I don't see a problem. For example, by that logic, wouldn't you want to outlaw... If you believe that's wrong to be like, polyamorous, right? Would you want to outlaw, like, cheating on your wife? Like, to me, if a Muslim comes to Canada, and they want to, like, have multiple wives, right? And they want to circumvent the laws by not officially marrying 3 of them, the problem is that by their own moral system, a Muslim guy, if he has 1 wife and 3, like, lovers, is committing adultery, which is against the morals of his own religion. If he chooses to be a hypocrite, then he can do that. And in Canada, you're allowed to be a hypocrite all you want. You can be married in an open relationship in Canada and effectively have multiple wives, but you'll never have more than 1 legally. And that's what matters. So, that's fine. We're socialist myself. I don't think that conservatism and socialism have to be are the either ends of the spectrum. I think you can be like more of a socialized welfare state kind of person while being conservative, but do taxes exactly. Do taxes. That's literally pretty much all the issue is just taxes and stuff. I don't think there should be any morality around marriage, but tax-wise, yeah, you can only have one wife. Period. If your values don't align with that, though, that's okay. I think it should be okay to be polyamorous or whatever. You just can't be polygamous. That's all. The law of a nation, I don't think would equate to the posed rules of God to them. Yeah, that's fine. Let that be the case, right? They can think whatever they want about the laws of the land, but like as long as they obey them, then it doesn't matter. Dude, I don't know. To me, the thing is that people talk about socialism. Most people don't know what socialism really is. I hate to say that because it sounds cringe, but people who are like, yeah, socialism always fails. I'm definitely not a socialist either. I'm a capitalist, definitely a capitalist, like solidly. But I will say that it's not like every social country ever fails. It's just that I think capitalism is a better job. And the thing is, Scandinavia is not even actually socialist. First of all, these are social democrats, and social democrats are not the same thing as democratic socialists or as socialists in general. Social democrats are still capitalists. One thing to always remember: if you're a social democrat, you are a capitalist. You can think whatever you want about that, whatever that makes you feel, but you believe in a market, so you're a capitalist. Period. A social thing. So having social programs is not the same thing as socialism. Like, by that logic, right? Socialism is literally just anytime the government does something, and that's not what socialism is. Socialism is the shift of like the capital. So in general, the way that like in capitalism, the way that businesses run or the way that firms work is that you have someone who invests money, and the person invested the money receives the profits of the business and hires workers, right? That's like capitalism. In socialism, you would have the workers all together owning the business and splitting profits amongst themselves. That's the very basis of socialism. There are very few socialist countries out there. Like, very, very few. They exist, but very, very few. And they often haven't done well in history for one reason or another. To me, it's because I think that socialism is not as effective as capitalism at generating revenue, which means that they're not going to do as well in the global market. But you know, for some people would say it's because of like them being constantly invaded, or because like they haven't had true socialism, no true Scots argument, whatever, right? There's all kinds of things you can say, but make it very clear, nowhere in Europe right now is like socialist. To be fair, there might be one. There may be a socialist country out here. I don't know if any of them, but none of them are actually like that. For the U.S. at least, where we are trying our hardest to protect the First Amendment, what would you say about Muslim immigrants who take exception to satire of their religion and call it to making illegal retribution against offenders? So any given person can be offended by anything, right? So we can compare this to like Christians in America who might think that porn should be illegal, right? They exist, right? There are lots of conservative Christian men and women in America who would love to see porn become illegal, right? They might have that opinion, but does that necessarily mean that it will become law? Like, no, not at all. I don't think that it would become law. So if we extend that to something, let's say that Christian conservatives of America decided they were going to start lobbying to make it illegal to badmouth the church. That would probably never ever happen, because unless America became so overwhelmingly in support of that law that like it could actually be passed, it just would always get shot down by the Senate and the House, right? Like it'd always be like, well, I represent a electorate where if I let this law pass, I'm going to lose my seat, so I'm going to not let it pass, right? That's the big thing to remember, is that in America you have a lot of checks and balances around the tyranny of like a minority or the tyranny of a majority. But you're still allowed to be offended. So those Christians can still dislike it, but they just can't try to get it banned. Like to see, love from Kuwait, 9th Province of Iraq, lol. I would love to see more interactions between the Caliph and the various other Muslim nations. So right now it feels like the Caliph doesn't really do a whole lot. He kind of just is like a massive empire. I want to see the Caliph have more jurisdiction over the realms of the other Muslim rulers around the world. But I'm not sure what that would look like yet. I have to think about that. There's the rebels. Fine. That please. Go with this. Exactly, yeah. Exactly what it was. So to me, I don't like direct democracy very much. I've always been a big fan of representative democracy. America has an interesting system where they basically have like representation through districting and representation through appointed setups. So one thing to remember about America is that many pieces of their nation are not elected. I think it's a pretty good system. It's a pretty good system. I think it's okay, but I prefer parliaments. I know I'm biased by living in a parliamentary not republic, but parliamentary, nation. But I like parliaments a lot because it feels like everyone gets a fair representation. And in Canada, the way that we district our parliamentary seats is third party. So that means that like an organization that is like an organization that exists. I forget the name of it, but it has no allegiance to any party. It's just like an outsider group. They draw up the lines for seats, and that means you don't get all the massive gerrymandering. But in America, you have a lot of gerrymandering problems because the people who draw the lines for the like counties and all that, the voting districts, are also the people who want to use the districts to get elected, right? Big problem. That needs to be solved really badly. Yeah, I don't like the reason I don't like popular vote is because well I'm okay with popular vote, but I don't like direct democracy because a direct democracy implies that people are gonna pay attention to all the issues. Like I don't think it's reasonable. Like I don't think it's reasonable to ask everyone to know everything about every issue. I guess I was question asking is responsibility on Muslims that it's not satire Islam, or the Muslim immigrants to accept tolerance that the religion will be satirized. It's on both, in the sense that I think it's not good to like satirize, well not satirize, but demonize a certain group. But at the end of the day, let me think of how to word this, sorry. Let me word this right. I gotta think about it before I say it. I think that if you're offended by something, and you live in a country with free speech, you have to accept it. You can't do anything about it. You have to accept that it is the case. But also, people who do offensive things have to be aware that they will bring on themselves a certain level of pain, and that pain should never be anything that's illegal. So if you're like a comedian and you make fun of Islam, you can reasonably expect that Muslims will be upset with you, but if they ever did anything to harm you, then that's definitely, of course, not acceptable, right? It's the give and take of freedom of speech, right? But then there's a line with hate speech and stuff, and hate speech is a different issue. In America, there's no hate speech laws. In Canada, we do have them. I agree with hate speech laws personally, but yeah. Bobs? What about Bobs? Are there Bobs around? Mod check. Sorry, I know we're getting really political today. I don't know why. I guess I'm into it. I guess I'm enjoying discussing it right now. Whereas normally I try to keep it more to a minimum, but I don't know. I feel like I've been I've been lucky enough to have a community on Twitch and on YouTube, which seems to be pretty Bing chilling with discussing politics. No one said anything that's like horribly reprehensible, so we take that pretty well. Yeah, no, I agree with that, Sir Netflix. The civility is impressive. I'm very impressed by you guys. Normally, political conversations tend to quickly fall apart. Yeah, so the way that you make laws around hate speech, in my opinion, is actually very similar to how Canada does it, and I'm very happy with how Canada does it. Where what happens with hate speech is that it's not like there's so the way that hate speech is done in Canada is that any given crime exists, right? That's a funny statement, but I'm doing prop logic right now. Sorry, I'm like propositioning something, right? Any given crime that in Canada exists, and happens when you commit a crime, one of the questions that comes up is why did you do that crime, right? And if the reason of that crime was due to a prejudice against a protected group, which in Canada includes your race, your nationality, your faith, your status as a woman or man or non-binary, that kind of stuff, or all that kind of thing, if it's found that you had a motivation that involved any of those things, then it becomes a hate crime. So it's a regular crime that now has hatefulness attached to it. If I don't like your streams would say bad stuff about the way you do it, should I go to jail? Absolutely not. No. Of course not. That is no. It's not about being offended. It's about the motivation for a crime. So in Canada, if I beat up a guy, if I punch a dude in the face, right? Then that's a crime. I've assaulted someone, right? But I punch them in the face, and then it could be demonstrated through some kind of evidence that I punched him in the face because he was black, right? Then that becomes a hate crime. It's not like me saying something is a hate crime right away. But if I threaten someone, so if I said, I'm going to kill you and your family, and then I'm going to hide the bodies so no one will ever find them, if I'm saying that because I just don't like the person, that won't be a hate crime. But if I'm saying it because the person's black, it'll be a hate crime. Exactly, you get a more severe punishment. So the punishment would be more severe because it's a hate crime. That's basically what would happen. In the game. In a video game. That's right. In a video game. In a video game. And in Canada, the way that works is that if it's found to be a hate crime, it's a much more severe punishment. Does everyone play their game? Well, sure, yeah. I think the way I look at it is if people want to be like for or against hate crime laws, I'm neither so vehemently for them that I would be like that's untenable, nor am I so vehemently against them that it is untenable either way. Doesn't tell the difference. So you prove it in a court of law with lawyers. So a lawyer will determine based on the concept. Well, not a lawyer. A lawyer will argue to a judge who will then determine, or a jury who will then determine, whether or not it was a hate crime. In the same way that you prove any crime, you need to have like some sort of evidence for it. Reasonable doubt. Exactly, beyond a reasonable doubt. Kind of hard to prove intent. It is hard to prove intent, but it can be proven. So a classic example of a way you can prove that someone did it for a racially motivated reason, like let's say it's a racially motivated thing, right? If you had let's say you punched a black guy in the face, and then after you punched him in the face, you called him let's say there was a recording or there's someone can testify that you then said, "You filthy N-word." I'm not gonna say that word obviously. You filthy N-word. I wish your kind wasn't in our country. That would immediately be like, yeah, that's evidence for racial motivation. That's a hate crime. That would be very easy to argue in a court. For a jury or for a judge. That would be a form of evidence in Canada. That would be like, yeah, that's evidence of racial motivation. You chose to say that after punching the guy in the face. So the goal for this run is to I'm playing as Augustus. Here, I didn't change his last name, so I was lazy. We're playing as Augustus, and it's modeled after the character in the history files for Byzantine Empire. I'm gonna try to make Rome. I'm not going super hard on it. I'm trying this out to make like a video, a YouTube video about this process. I'm trying out like a format basically, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if it'll go well or not, but that's gonna be fun. They attack multiple Legion Black is not a hate crime. Well, in America, there are no hate crimes. So if that happened in America, it wouldn't be a hate crime no matter what happens. But in Canada, if you had a bunch of people attack a white person, In theory, it would be a hate crime if they did it for racially motivated reasons. Now, I will say this. In the court of public opinion, would it be like less likely to be labeled as a hate crime? Probably. You're probably right about that. But legally, not just public opinion, but legally, a person that's not white will definitely be prosecuted for a hate crime in Canada. So I think that when it comes to like it should only be illegal to do crimes, not to hate people. It's not illegal to hate people. It is more illegal though to do a crime against someone because you hate because of an immovable characteristic of who they are, than it would be to just do it for monetary reasons. Think of it like it's a form of like societal control in a way, which I know people are gonna hate because everyone likes to think that like society should be completely free with no limits or whatever. But like, if you commit a crime, which is with the intention of being racially being like a really fucked up racist or like a misogynist or whatever, I think that should deserve a higher punishment because we want to disincentivize that behavior and that thought process in our people, right? Roman culture, not yet because there's no Roman counties yet, so no, but we will be soon, hopefully anyway. To me, it's reasonable to take an effort. Also, nice Italy conquering Rome. It's reasonable to make an effort to try and shape your society's culture with punishments and criminal punishments and stuff. Like, that to me is a reasonable thing to do. I am actually Roman. Posture. Yes. Custom character. This will be Julius. Also, I have like 5 kids. Fuck. I'm not paying any attention to the game. You guys got me so wrapped up in the politics talk. I'm not paying attention to anything in the game right now. I just have 2 kids. I just named 2 kids Julius, 1 Tarkus. I didn't even remember naming these kids. I'm off the perk, dude. I am unironically off the perk. I'm gonna Duke real quick. We'll do a little bit of rating. The experience, yeah, literally. Mughal Empire Part 2. It should be in about 2 or 3 days. It should be soon. I did the Russia guide. I'm going to do the next Mughal episode, then I'll do the next Russia guide episode. I'm kind of alternating between the series. It should be the next 2 or 3 days. I was playing a game? Yeah, literally, I'm just sitting here discussing. Be offended, my weight, ginger, etc., and that's why you're here to heat my argument, but it's not severe by law, even though it's the same. Well, so if I'm arguing with you, it's not a crime to argue with you, right? So if say I had an argument with a black guy, and like in the heat of the argument, I called him like a racial slur, right? Now, obviously, I think that's really messed up. I think it's not okay to call someone a racial slur in any case, right? But I still haven't committed a crime. Nothing will happen to me. If I called a black guy the N-word while I was like angry at him in a video game, of course, nothing would happen to me in Canada. But if I killed him, if I murdered him, or if I assaulted him, or if I burned his home down, or something crazy like that, committed a real crime, it would then later be put into evidence that we had this argument where I called him the N-word. And that would be justification to maybe say the crime was a hate crime, depending on how the judge interprets it, right? And the jury. That's all it is. It's not that the slur is the crime. It's the killing him or hitting him or burning down his stuff that's a crime. Plus, it may also be then tacked on as a hate crime if it's proven I had a racial prejudice. That's how it works. Like in Canada, if I had an argument with someone and I just told them like to call them some racial slur, that wouldn't get me in trouble until the day that I did something wrong to them. Then it might get me in a lot of trouble. No, it really starts true. Stream on Twitch, on both. Yeah, we're on Twitch and YouTube right now. We're on the both of them. Drew. Is that how you say true now, Tara? You just say Drew? I respect that. Drew. There we go. Okay, so do I want to keep everything in Sardinia? I think I do. I want to keep Sardinia, and then I want to have probably Latium plus Sardinia eventually, so I'll give away Salerno. That's fine. I'll try to have like a land split between this and this. That'd be cool. Because we're going to get the mine here eventually, right? Argentiera mine. How strong is Italy? They're not in a war. Okay, I'll raid them when they go to war. That'd be probably a good opportunity. Yeah, so the whole thing about like hating on white people just because they're white is something I don't agree with either. I think that's probably not a good thing. I think that the funny thing though is I think it's a lot of white people doing it to themselves. So I can only speak to my experience in life. I can only speak to my experience, obviously, right? In my experience, the people who dunk on white people for being white is like white people. Like it's a weird thing. It's a very sort of cannibalistic issue in white spheres. To be fair though, I don't have, I'll be honest with you, it sounds funny, I don't have a whole lot of white friends. The vast majority of my friends in life are non-white people, just because of where I grew up. So, I don't know, like it's like a weird thing where it's hard for me to even say, because to be honest with you, I only know a couple, but the couple that I do know end up being the ones who are dunking on themselves constantly. Which is, I don't know how you deal with that. If the culture is heading in a cannibalistic direction, who am I to stop that, right? I think it's probably not good, but that's why I get offended by attacks on our race. We never accuse each other of hate crimes. So there's this interesting dichotomy, not dichotomy, that's not the right word. Interesting sort of split in language that I'm noticing, right? Do you guys? I'm gonna go on a linguistics rant in a way, okay? Yeah, let me get it's notepad time, okay? It's notepad time, okay? Hold on, okay? So there's kind of like so like when is something racist? Right? I'm gonna put this in quotes. When is something racist? Okay. There's like a classical definition. Okay, and this would be like attacking someone in any way for their race, right? Just this is like the one everyone knows, right? This is the one that people usually think of, and this is the one I usually think of, right? But then there's this weird, like academic definition. Okay, and this academic definition is like when a system in a nation or in a country, let's say, in a country exists such that it favors the majority race over the minority race or something, right? And this would be in reference to like, let's say like police brutality, right? This would be like an example of this, where people will talk about like, oh, like that's racist, they say, right? But it's like, well, they might say, people might say something like, America is racist, right? And a lot of people come in with this definition, where they think, well, hold on, America doesn't have any segregation. America doesn't have any blah, 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 blah. America's this, and that. They don't have any of this going on and stuff like that, right? So, therefore, how can America be racist? And then they dismiss the issue, right? But the people who are putting forward the definition are often saying it in this way. They're looking at it like this. They're like, well, on average, police as an institution have been constructed to control, like, to enforce, like, the status quo, which I think is a reasonable statement. Usually police exist to keep things smooth, right? And what group is it which usually is fighting against status quo? Usually it's minorities, right? And that's like, therefore, police are the white, and then non-police are are like the minorities, right? Now, the funny thing is, this definition has some value to it. There's something to be said for this, as does this one, right? These both have some value to them, in my opinion. But the problem is that most people either believe this one or they believe this one. They don't know they both exist. It's like they don't know that they both exist. These both are different concepts entirely, right? These are completely different things. Like, this thing is about the idea that, like, well, America was founded with white people in mind, and therefore all the institutions created in America are favoring white people, which means that in a way America is a racist place. And it's like, okay, if I were a sociology major, I might have some kind of understanding of that. You know, I might be like, yeah, okay, I can understand this. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. But like 85 to 90% of the population of, like, let's say America or even Canada as well, think of it this way, okay? It's just like, you know, this is between people, right? People are racist to other people, is what people who believe this way would do it. This is like institutions, right? Between people, this is like, you know, e.g. like institutions. Institutions can be racist, but some people don't think of it that way, right? That's the problem. Is there's a big disconnect. Whichever one you believe, I'm not here to tell you which one is correct, which one is like the most accurate way to assess racism in society. But I will say this: when you're talking to someone about racism, it's very important to clarify what you mean, because it's really easy to have a disagreement over your premises. Okay, and when you're discussing with someone If you disagree on like the very premises of what you're discussing, you're never gonna get anywhere. The American police predestined to be racist? I don't necessarily believe that, no. I think, like, it's difficult. It's really difficult to talk about. Because police brutality is a thing. I completely agree with that, Lambda. I think that there is brutality amongst police members. But then, like, how many times can I say, oh, it's a bad egg over and over again? I think about something like Derek Chauvin and stuff like that. Where that guy did a horrible thing, you know, killed someone, and then was punished for it, like, justifiably. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's justice. I think that, like, when it seems like in America, when a police officer does something wrong, they get punished for it, and then and then you accept the justice and you move on, right? But does that necessarily mean that America doesn't have a racist institution? I think that policing in America needs more, like, training, to be honest with you. You need more training in America for, like, the people. Exactly, there's probably lots of stories where a police officer has killed someone, and then they get punished for it, like, and then they go to jail for it. Like, literally, it's like, well, you killed someone, it was unjust killing, and we're gonna send you to prison for it. Like, there you go. Like, and that's the end of that, right? Well, so Jinx, I don't think it's reasonable to make an argument to history. So we can't say like, well, in the past it was like this, so why can't it stay like that in the future? Well, by that logic, why aren't we still like cave people? You know, why aren't we just staying as like, you know, as like subsistence farming cave people? We used to do it. Why don't we keep doing it? It's like, you know, that's not really a way to think of things, right? We want to be more progressive than that in our lives. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Rage quit. That kind of thing. It probably should be put out there more because it is true that police are gonna, like, you know, police still have to live by some standards. I think the standard should be higher, but you know, it needs to. It happens more than people might recognize. Okay, well, I'm waiting for Yev to get here. They're coming for me. Oh no. Rip my army. No. No, they're gonna kill me. Justly hated, and other times it's brutality. Exactly, yeah. I think that there are examples of police brutality, like, just period. I don't believe that's arguable. It exists, right? And the answer to it is not to, like, hate every cop. It's to, like, well, why is the brutality happening, and what can we do to mitigate it? And to me, the way to mitigate it is to have more training and... Oh, nice job, we captured him. Have more training and have more opportunities for police officers to, like, you know, get the training they need to do a better job in their job. Right now in America, becoming a police officer is not very difficult. It should be harder. I think that would fix a lot of things. Officer power hungry and trigger happy. A lot of them are. A lot of them really are. And I think that's something of a systemic issue. So that's an example where I could use this notepad here. I could talk about how, like trigger happy policing is kind of a form of academic, I'm not using quotes because this is what I call it definition, of academic racism, right? The institution, I spelled it wrong, institution of police allows for a racial majority to commit crimes more often, right? The solution is better training, right? Police is inherently oppressive, like, yeah, by definition they'd be inherently oppressive, but I believe that they can be oppressive in better ways than others, right? All form of government is inherently oppressive, but doesn't mean I don't believe in it, you know what I mean? I'm not like an anarchist, you know, I think that government is a necessity, therefore we gotta do it. What's up, Uncle Fist, how you doing? Shortage of police, Catch-22? I don't think there's a shortage of police in America right now. All form of government is inherently oppressive. Well, okay, I mean, what's an example of a form of government that's not inherently oppressive? I'm curious what you would say to that. I think I want cataphracts. This is really nice. Good. The king is the Romanistic policeman, probably die young and only cynics survive. Traffic rules? Well, even then, I mean, a traffic rule is in a way limiting your freedom, albeit for a good reason. but it is inherently oppressing your ability to drive however the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Exactly. Not all oppression is bad. I completely agree with that idea. So for me, the classic thing that makes all government oppressive, in a way, is that all government charges you taxes. If you pay taxes, you don't get a choice to pay your taxes. You pay them, or you like suffer the consequence of not paying your taxes, which is usually, you know, prison time or like massive, you know, fines, right? That's like oppression, sure, but I want that oppression. I want to pay taxes so that everyone lives better lives, so that my life is better. It's a form of oppression that's good. Healthcare, educational provisions, those are also, in a way, oppressive, because if I have education in Canada and in America, well, in America I think you can do homeschooling a little bit, but in Canada you have to go to public school. You don't get a choice. That's like, you know, in a way, oppressive, but no, I want that oppression though. And same with healthcare in Canada. So in healthcare, because we have public healthcare, I'm not allowed to get a private option. I have to go with the public healthcare. I have no choice. I have to either leave the country to go get healthcare in America, or I have to use Canadian healthcare, and I have no other choice. I cannot make a private healthcare institution. But I like that. I don't want competing healthcare providers. I want one. Right? Here's the follow. IMC. Appreciate that. Police is oppressive. The rule exists to facilitate avoidance of accidents. Fencing it is what makes it oppressive. Well, to me, police definitely can be oppressive, but the idea of like a nation enforcing its laws upon its people is oppressive in a good way. Where it's like, yes, I want the laws to be enforced. I want there to be force, physical violence used to ensure that the laws that we all believe in are actually followed through on. You know, to me that matters. But then police can also be oppressive in the sense that they like are too aggressive. They might get people killed, and that's oppressive. And that's something I want to see fixed. Incarceration NA, just USA have world record, no declines. The best way to fix the incarceration rate in America is to get rid of private prisons, which I think is really weird. Like, it's really weird in America that prisons are privately run. I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's why you have so many prisoners, because there's an economic incentive to have them, which is insane to me. Exactly, Uncle Fist. Yeah, people who don't want to. People who want to. The bigger thing is not necessarily learning how to read and write. It's the idea that some people don't want to have their children taught and like educated by what they perceive to be. Yeah, it is legal slavery, Antares. Yeah, definitely. People who perceive the government as being like, you know, not like an ideology they approve of. They don't want to go to school because the government controls schooling, right? So it's like if you don't like your government and you don't want your kids to be raised by the government, then you don't want them to go to school. But I say like, fuck you. You're gonna send your kids to school, dude. It makes my life better if everyone's going to school. So I want them to go to school. Plus death penalty. That's tough. I don't know. I actually have to I don't actually know how I feel about death penalty. I have to think about it more. I know it's lame. I know it's lame, but I don't actually have a strong opinion on death penalty because I'm really split on it. There are times when I feel like I want to be really anti-death penalty, and there are times where I'm like, man, but some people just gotta die. You know, I hate to say it, but I go back and forth, so I don't have a strong opinion. So Canada's no problem with like telling people that public service hours are ended and they can be only admitted today privately, even though people are there, which were scheduled public health like 2 hours before. I think I don't have much experience with Canadian healthcare, to be honest with you. I know Canada has problems with waiting times. I know that. I'm just not educated enough on it to comment, I think. Emperor Coffee, thanks for the sub. I'd have to learn more about it first, because I know we have problems with it, but I don't know what the rules are around. Like, if you've waited 2 hours, can the doctor say no to you? I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, they don't want it? Well, Jinx, my answer to that would be, like, police should go there and force them to go to school. For every day, and so they know they'll be forgotten and die. Yeah, in a way, you're kind of right, Lambda. I don't know. That's where I really have to. I'd have to take more time to think about it. I don't have a strong opinion yet. I go back and forth, and I constantly think about it pretty often, actually. Like I don't necessarily have like a strong opinion because I haven't. You start to shoot. Well, hey, I mean, hey, man, if you have a population in your country resisting your police, then you have justification to go and assault them, right? Like, I know it sounds extreme. I know it sounds extreme, but like, you know, it's important to enforce your laws, and it should be I think it's a law that people should have to go to school. If people are breaking rules, the rules are wrong. Well, that to me doesn't make any sense, because some people kill people, and that's breaking the rules. So is the rule wrong? They shouldn't kill people. Like, to me, that sort of anarchist point is very easily defeated by the idea that bad people exist, and bad people do wrong things for their own betterment. Some bad people do things just because they want to, let alone for their own betterment. What's currently wrong? I see. Okay. I find that pretty untenable, but if you believe it, you believe it, I guess. Like, to me, I think it should be an intrinsic law of the land that to kill someone else is wrong, except in self-defense and things like that. Get murdered, you would die. True. True. Oh, I see what you mean, Remy. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, that if you had private and public healthcare, then you would be incentivized. To make exceptions already? Well, yeah, I'm making exceptions. There always are exceptions. But we live our life by general rules, not by the exceptions to those rules, right? Like, them like this. I think that traveling over 50 kilometers per hour is dangerous to my health, except if I'm in a car. Because if I'm in a car, then the car is doing it, not me. If I moved 50 kilometers per hour, I'd probably break my legs, right? But I'm making an exception. Like, lots of rules have exceptions, but we live our lives by the rules, not by the exceptions. That's how I look at it. It's important not to judge your life by your exceptions, because we call that like a survivorship bias, right? Let's create a structure to assess it. The structure would inevitably become corrupt, so I oppose rule of law. Interesting. So, okay. So the argument is that all structures will inevitably become corrupt. Okay. I think there's some truth to that. So, like, in a sense, any given concentration of power will result in some kind of corruption, so somewhat true. And then the answer, therefore, I'm gonna steel man you, Antares, if you will. The answer, therefore, correct me if I'm wrong in what you're saying, is therefore to get rid of those institutions and have everything be like run in like a smaller sort of like local level where people will agree to things based on like a non-aggression principle kind of thing. Is that more or less right? Okay, for accurate. Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that. But to me, the thing is that isn't Boolean. Yeah, it isn't Boolean for sure, but it is like there's a level of tolerance for corruption where it becomes Boolean. At some point, it becomes no longer acceptable at a certain level. But to me, the answer is not to get rid of the institutions, because then you just have society devolving into tiny little like micro states, which I don't think is healthy. I think it's better to have institutions which exist above those institutions, which themselves can regulate the lower ones, which you know is also vulnerable to corruption. But if you look at something like America is a good example of a country that has relatively minimal corruption. I know we talk about, like, I know people think America is like really corrupt, okay, but that's a very American-centric view. Lots of countries are really corrupt that make America look like the most insano, well-regulated, like, you know, regulated place ever, because America has pretty strong institutions that are relatively uncorrupt compared to what exists. I think it's one of those things where there is a certain level of corruption that's going to exist in all nations, and you have to live with that. But you can make those institutions less corrupt through having like your checks and balances, right? America is corrupt. Yes, this is the thing. America, I want you to look at any country on the planet, okay, and be like, yeah, America's more corrupt than them. There's going to be very few, like very, very few. Can be corrupted. Everyone can be corrupted, dude. Everything can be corrupted. But the thing is that like all you can do without degrading society to becoming a bunch of tiny little, like, tiny communities who don't do anything besides support each other, if you want to have like a united world in a way, which I kind of would like to see as like a world that works together, then you're not going to like you're not going to get that by having everyone live in isolated communities where they only help each other. That's the problem with anarchism, in my opinion, is that you end up having you end up having like people who like these tiny communities that don't work together because they're anarchists. They don't work together. They just kind of like exist in their own little area, and each commune will have its own little tiny differences and stuff like that make it untenable for them to interact. Be compared to the Western world in terms of corruption. There's corrupt, but there is so much worse around the world. Yeah, it's true. Italia or Turkey or Middle East. Or Turkey? Bro, what are you talking about? I don't know about Italy. Italy I don't know much about. But America is not more corrupt than Turkey or the Middle East or Russia or China. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any damn sense. Oh, America is corrupt, but it is more... oh, maybe you forgot the not, then? It is not more corrupt, you meant to say, maybe? Because I was gonna say, like, dude, what the fuck? People be like, damn, that's, like, the most American thing. Oh, but not like Turkey. Okay, you forgot the not. Okay, that's okay, that's okay. I almost got super triggered. I'm sorry. I almost got super triggered. I was like, dude, there's no way you can look at, like, those countries and be like, yeah, I can't... America, more corrupt. America has its own corruption. People are saying America has its own corruption. But I would say that the corruption that America experiences, generally speaking, is less harmful to the people than the corruption you might find in other countries. Which doesn't mean it's perfect. I still believe in improving American institutions, but it's pretty good. If you're a criminal carrier and are after Interpol, you get citizenship for 400k USD. Turkish law, no country can force extradite them. I actually am a Turkish citizen, so I'm actually already good. I already am a Turkish citizen, but, you know, you have some relationships with Turkey. I know something about it. Yeah, I bet. Turkey is quite its own little problems going on when it comes to corruption and stuff. Nothing happened at Tiananmen Square. True. I was there. Nothing happened. It was me. I was the guy in the tank. People have to forget how the guy in the tank, though, was really trying to not run the guy over. The thing about Tiananmen Square is everyone sees the image of the tank and the dude, right? Like the dude in front of the tank. The tank was trying to maneuver around the guy, and he probably was getting yelled at by his superiors that, like, he needs to run him over or something. I was the camera guy. Can you define corruption? So to me, corruption is when an institution has leadership or has members who choose to serve purposes the institution was not meant for. Not necessarily themselves, but let's say the institution, let's say police, right? Police, I'll give you an example with police. Police exist to take the laws of the land and enforce them upon the people. A corrupt police department would be like something like either an individual in the police or a leader of the police who uses the power invested in them by the institution to do something that isn't enforcing the laws of the land on the people. For example, if you're like a racist cop, you're a corrupt cop if you choose to use your police power to kill a black guy because you're a racist. That's a form of corruption. Might be less corrupted. Interesting. I'd have to look into them. I have no idea. When I look at, like, I don't know much about these countries, unfortunately, like in terms of their politics. I only really know a lot about Canada and America. I'd say a lot, not even that much. Like, it's all about the intended purpose of an institution and how it's used, right? That's, like, corruption to me. I think it's a pretty good general definition. I can't think of, like, a better definition. This is failure to just change circumstances, as the line between those two can get very blurry. Yeah, so to me, if the police try... Let's say, I'll use the police example again. It's not corruption if the police are trying to enforce the laws of the land and they fail. That's just an ineffective institution. It's not a corrupt one. A corrupt one is one which tries to do something which is not in its purview. So, for example, with politics, the purpose of a politician is to represent the views of their like electoral sector, right? So if my MP in the region that I live in is doing things that don't represent me, then obviously that's corruption in a way. If he's doing things to make money for his benefit, that's not representing me, right? Or push the layers to the wrong diamond, 1% grains is optimal. Well, I mean, that's an interesting issue about, like, advertising and corporations and government and stuff. I would say that, like, stuff like diet is interesting because dietary research changes a lot. Heard a story about Taliban's U.S. citizens. They asked for donation. They thought they were going to lose $4,000. As for $100, things like corruption due to like Muslim tax on believers. Yeah, so if there's an institution, like if there's a jizya tax in Afghanistan or something, right? Like genuinely, and this might be a bit debate brained, but if in Afghanistan, their institutional power asserts that non-Muslims have to pay a jizya tax, then to collect that tax is not corrupt. That's just the nature of the country. That's not corruption, right? That's just like, well, the country says collect this tax, so collect it, right? That's the purpose of the institution. So it makes sense in that case. But obviously I disagree with the whole concept in general, but I wouldn't call it corrupt, I would just call it a bad system. It's different. Just undemocratic. Exactly, yeah. It's just undemocratic, or it's like it's oppressive or whatever. It's dumb. In my opinion, it's just stupid. But you know, it's not necessarily corrupt. It's just not good. Or discrimination. Exactly, it's discrimination. Yeah. Where it would be corruption would be if the people who collect that jizya tax, if people that collect jizya taxes were siphoning off bits of that money for themselves, that would be corruption, because then that's not the intended point of the institution. It's just that they're just being, you know, they're just stealing at that point, which is a form of corruption. As it becomes outdated, well, they might become corrupt, like you say, but I think it's more that if they're outdated, then they're not useful anymore, and then because not useful, maybe they become corrupt because people no longer see them as legitimate. That could be a thing. How am I doing, by the way? How old am I? 49? I'm already 49? Holy shit, dude. I gotta fucking conquer more stuff. I'm way too slow. Has no sway on policy? Well, that's just not true. Public opinion has huge sway on policy, doesn't it? So you're saying that implying the current system of selling and buying CO2 emissions is clearly not a form of corruption. Well, what do you mean? Can you expand on that? That might be a long discussion to have, because I don't know what you're referring to when you say that. I might just not know something. Polarized fuck. True, Turkey is very polarized. Like, one thing to remember, this is something that I think people often need to remember when it comes to politicians, on the topic of, like, public opinion and swaying political belief, right? The job of a politician, ultimately, in terms of their institutional job, is to, and this is going to sound cynical as hell, but it's to get elected, okay? Your job as a politician, your job as a politician is to be elected, right? Okay? Now, getting elected, like, that just means winning. And that means winning however you can, right? And if that means, like, making promises and then people still elect you anyway, or if that means, like, saying you'll do something then not doing it but you still win anyway, then cool. But I think that a lot of times you have to take into account that people's public opinion versus, like, people's public opinions versus, like, who votes and who actually goes out and, like, who actually goes out and, like, does stuff is often different. The goal of a politician isn't necessarily to represent the people. It's more to be elected, which is an interesting thing. But the thing is that in order to get elected, you often have to represent your people's opinions. I might not be expressing it very well, so I'm sorry if I'm not. I don't know if it's, like, coming across how I mean it to come across. But, you know, it's like it's an interesting thing to think about when it comes to politicians, is that their goal is to be elected, it's not to represent you. But the thing is that in order to be elected, you have to represent people's beliefs, right? So you read, civilized countries have signed agreements to limit their emissions, and to meet their commitments, there's a very large and active market in emission shares to turn energy into green energy. That's not corruption very much, because dual stuff to make this possible. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. If that's the intended, if the signed agreements are about, like, swapping emission shares for the, you know, then, like, I don't know what that really means. Like, I guess it would be, like, can you, I'd have to ask for you to explain. The intent is limit emissions. Okay, well, let me think about. I'm gonna pull up a notepad real quick. I want to write this down so I can make sure I'm getting it right, because I feel like I'm not understanding what you're saying with this. Okay, hold on, sorry, I didn't mean to save this. Sorry, we'll get rid of this. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some premises down and tell me if any of them are wrong. Okay. There are initiatives, like cross nationally to reduce emissions. Right. That's like one premise. Part of the movement to do that is trading of shares of emissions. So what is that? Can you help me understand what that is? And I'll keep playing the game here. What is that? What does that refer to? Like what is like an emission share? I don't understand. Here's what energy sell the surplus emission shares. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, I think I understand. Okay, hold on. So, like, a country might have. Let me know if this is correct. Might have a goal to reduce emissions by 5%. Let's just say that, right? Like 5%, right? Let's just say let's fuck the issue by 5%. Let's say they reduce emissions by 10%. They can sell the extra emission reduction to other nations who may not have reached their quota. Is that more or less what it's like? Re-elected, which means you really need to follow through in your first strike when you get re-elected. We're not going to use fossil fuels. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of different issues going on in chat. So I'm going to try to keep focusing on this green one just because I'm interested in it because I didn't know about this. Get wrecked, silly Beneventoans. Might not be green, but it sure as hell is green with oil and coal. I think the nuclear energy is good. I would like to see more nuclear energy research exist. Man, I feel like I'm barely even playing the game. I'm so not focused on the game. I don't even know what's happening. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm just fighting Benevento because they're at war with me. Okay, let me reword this. Okay. So no, it's that the tonnage of CO2 emitted that people have agreed upon is allowed to exceed by some people who provided to pay extra. So it said like this. If the goal of a nation is to reach 5% emission reduction, hypothetically, they can reduce emissions by 2% and then pay a fine. We'll call it like pay a fine / tax to make up the remaining 3%. Is that more accurate? This guy. Countries have sent documents saying we will not emit more than X tons CO2. Instead of doing this, they sell the surplus emissions to countries without heavy industry. We say the surplus emissions though. What does that mean? What does that mean that they sell surplus emissions? Like, I don't know why I can't comprehend that. I don't know what that means. How do you sell a surplus emission? Because to me, an emission is like your CO2. How do you sell the CO2 you put in the sky? I don't know. I'm having because like, can you tell me what an emission is in this case? I think that's what I'm having trouble understanding. I'm sorry if I'm being I'm sorry if I'm not getting it. I'm trying my best. Giving country to giving money to the other country that is emitting less. Okay. CO2 in this case. Okay. Consumption. So when you sell the emissions, tradable carbon limits. Well, I'm gonna Google that. Tradable carbon limits. I gotta read now. Dude, I got so much to fucking read now. I feel like I have to go research this now. Oh, so companies can buy and sell allowances and let them emit only a certain amount as supply and demand at the price. Trading gives companies a strong incentive to save money by cutting emissions cost-effective ways. Oh, I see. So hold on. So let me word it like this then. Okay, let me word it like this. So a country or business has an arbitrary cap. We'll just say arbitrary cap on how much they can emit in cubic tons of CO2, right? Let's call it 20 tons, right? Let's call it 20 tons, just for the sake of argument, right? Just because, fuck it, right? That if they exceed it, they exceed that number, they have to buy more emissions cap from other businesses / countries who haven't used it. Who haven't used theirs yet. Is this more correct? This is interesting. I didn't even know about this. What I just returned to? Don't worry about it. We're discussing carbon stuff, I guess. For achieving their emission goal, presumably they get to avoid being fined. That's what I would assume they get. They don't get fined or something. Reggio Calabria. What are them? Can I reform Hellenism? I'm not sure I'm going to be able to be honest. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it with this character. I'm 53. I probably should stop being a martial character and go over to medicine focus. I'm going to get to profit. Is this rebellion? It's peasants, that's fine. We do a little peasantry. Okay, we can conquer Rosano, I guess. I mean, fuck it, I might as well keep going, right? Notepad? I know Notepad's up. I'm waiting to see if this is, like, accurate. Is this, like, an accurate representation of what's happening in these countries? It's like they basically get limits, and then they can sell and buy limits? Is that, like, a thing? I've never heard of that before, but, I mean, it seems to be real. I googled it, so I trust that it's real, and I'm not, like, doubting its existence. I've just never heard of it before. It's an interesting idea. To me, right, this is your very classic like liberal answer to issues of societal or like issues of like pollution or whatever, right? Is like just disincentivize pollution through money, right? I'll take it off the screen for now. Red plus institution if you want to research. Okay, I'll take a look at that maybe. We take it off the screen for now. To me, it's interesting, like using the market to affect social change is always something which I think is like good. I just wonder, I don't know if it's effective though. I like the idea, but I wonder if it's effective or not. Just think of it like this, right? If you are able to make like a zero emission business, you can make a shit ton of money just selling your credits. That sounds pretty good because it means that you're doing a really good job of incentivizing people to not emit anymore. Like it seems legit, right? Like in Canada, we're talking about Canada now. Like in Canada, what we do is we have carbon taxes. So any given, at the end of every business quarter, basically a business will have to measure their carbon output, which is audited by like a Canadian institution, and then depending on how much they used, they get taxed a certain amount, and that tax is then taken by the Canadian government and it's used to like fund research on you know, what do you call it, on like green stuff, or it's used for whatever. I don't even know what it's used for, but it's a tax that the government levies, and it disincentivizes people from doing like carbon stuff. And people complain about it because it makes the business less profitable, but it is reducing the amount of carbon we're making, right? Let's try to emit less. Yeah, but the thing is, you gotta understand that, okay, hold on. I gotta, no, notepad's back again already, right? No business, no profit-oriented business, right? So no profit-oriented business is ever going to willingly cut profits, right? They're just not going to do that. That doesn't happen, right? You have to hit them where it hurts, which is their money, which is their profits, right? So if you can tax their profits by like saying, hey, if you do carbon emissions, you're going to make less money. Then the sort of like if it becomes the case, sorry, fuck, I can't type. If it becomes the case that pollution is less profitable than green, businesses will go green. Now the problem is that there's ways to get around these taxes, right? And that needs to be fixed. But yeah, as legal duty, exactly. It is the intended purpose of that place to increase profits. The motivation, okay, literally, the motivation to increase profits, the motivation to increase profits is so high that you might even, like, they might even seek to avoid, like, taxes by covering up your carbon usage, right? That's not good, but the solution is better auditing. Like, it's not to throw out the system, it's got to audit better. I don't know exactly how you would do that. That's where, like, that's not my expertise, is how to audit a place better. But, like, you know, that's how you should fix that. It's like, well, hey, we got to audit this stuff better. So we're a raider. Nice. This character's actually pretty good. He's turned out pretty nice so far. Like, to me, it's not about, like... It's not about necessarily, like, making it so that corporations shouldn't be profit incentivized. They are profit incentivized. They always will be profit incentivized. That's just how it is. But you need to, like... But you can affect their priorities. You know, if you can affect their priorities by adding taxes and adding fines for stuff, then you will be affecting their decisions, right? The day that it becomes more profitable to be green than it is profitable to be polluting is the day that we will see, like, insane changes to, you know, like, that kind of stuff. You just move the rally point. The rally point move thing is, you just click on a flag and you can right click it anywhere. So if you have it clicked like this, you can right click and it goes wherever you're clicking. You can always just do this. You just move it around. Right now you have it clicked and it's working, but as long as it's the last thing you were clicked on, you can just right click it wherever you want to go. It's way easier than having multiple rally points. The whole thing about having multiple rally points is so dumb. Because why would I ever want multiple? I can literally just have one where I raise my entire army from every time. So I don't know why you ever have multiple. But yeah. Appreciate that, Jinx. I'm glad you liked the stream. I like it for all the discussions too. It's probably my favorite part of the communities. You guys are very good at talking about things. So you can sell your credits if you're efficient and have a carbon footprint, making money by selling the potential carbon you are saving. Yes, that's like so in that case, that's even more than doing just a, like, trying, like, a negative punishment for being over your limit. It's a positive incentive to be under your limit, which is pretty cool. I don't know, it sounds good to me. I'd have to research about the effectiveness of it. Exactly, always, yeah. So if you use less carbon in Canada, you pay fewer taxes, generally speaking, because you have to pay taxes on your carbon. So if you use less carbon, you pay fewer taxes, which is a great way to, like, incentivize less pollution through the profit incentive. Like, think about it, if you have a fiduciary requirement to your investors to be profitable, and it becomes profitable to not pollute, you're gonna not pollute anymore. You know, like, and I think that's really good. That should be encouraged. But I will say, in Canada, it's been really good. In Canada, it's been very effective. But I don't know about the EU. In Canada, it's been really good at making a lot of companies much less polluting, including our oil industry, which is cleaner than it's ever been. Our oil industry in Canada, it's never been as clean as it is right now, because of all this stuff. You just die? Holy shit! Okay, let's not do that. But you know, I don't know how. Maybe in Europe it's not as effective. But last CK3 stream was a long time ago, but it's back. I did see the dev diary for Vic 3, and it looks pretty good. It looks like a step in the right direction. I was happy with it when I saw it. I was like, hey, that looks like a good change. I like that they're implementing government shares. It's a very important system that really needs to come through, so I'm glad that's coming. Because government shares as a concept are really important, I think, for, like, creating for creating like what do you call it? Like interesting command and climb situations. Regulation, yeah, to me it's a good regulation. The thing is, you'll always have people complaining about it. So the thing is that I will say, you know, Notepad's already back. A lot of like green legislature. A lot of green legislature is political and ideological, unfortunately. Canada doing the worst in climate change, all of the G7. That's probably because the only thing about Canada is that, like, so think of it like this, right? I already got another thing. In Canada, like, we've been growing our economy a lot. And that means we're going to have more emissions, but we would have had a ton more if not for the new regulations. That's the best way to put it. So although we're not doing so well in like the G7 according to like the climate change, like the rankings and all that, it's also to keep in mind that Canada's economy has been doing, like, it's been growing a lot lately. Although lately it's been heavily inflated. There's been a lot of inflation because of COVID and stuff, but it's been doing really strong. I don't know. I'd have to look more into it, but I'm pretty sure Canada we've been having a positive effect in terms of our outputs since the carbon taxes and all that. We'll make it very political though. Back to the previous point though, we'll make it really political, right? It's like people assert that, like, I'm just gonna say it in Canada anyway. Conservatives, so conservatives in Canada assert that green legislature is like tyrannical, and it's ridiculous. Like, it's like, okay, bro, are taxes tyrannical? Now, to be fair, some of them might say that. And if I met someone who said taxes are tyrannical, I'd be like, okay, bro, I guess you don't like roads or like schools or anything, but dude. Routine pollution, Omega Law. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't like the politicalization of like green stuff. I really hate that because it feels like so ridiculous. To be like, oh yeah, dude, like having green, like being green is like a ideological political thing. Some people treat it that way. I will say there are some liberals who are like that, but you cannot possibly return on investment instead of accepting the extent profit incentive is necessity. I would argue for policies that connect actions to their environmental consequence rather than creating additional separation to the credit market. Interesting. Okay. The problem I think with trying to remove the profit incentive from the equation is that like, so if you remove the profit incentive from the equation, right? Then I think a lot of like economics and business becomes horribly inefficient. Because one of the great things about capitalism, I'm kind of a capitalist shill, so, you know, sorry, I'm like unabashedly not a socialist. Also nice, Byzantine Empire fell apart. I'm like unabashedly not a socialist. And one thing that can be important for me anyway, people to know, is that like under capitalism you have like the most efficient like usage of your resources in general. Obviously, there's things that will limit that. So there's inefficiencies due to like people's own ideology getting in the way of their market, or there's like inefficiencies in terms of people being like what do you call it? Like not necessarily running their business optimally, right? But in theory, capitalism is like the most efficient form of like distribution of resources to create like more resources and to create more productivity. I don't want it to go away because I think that ultimately economic policy is just that. It's just economic. There's no need to worry about the the social implications of it, because we can sort of regulate the capitalistic structures with oh god, I have fucking camp fever, Jesus Christ. We can regulate the social impacts of our economic experiences with laws and legislation and stuff, which I think is good. Okay, I'm gonna fucking die. It's the end of Augustus. There he is. Rip. The what it was, Canadian forests. I don't think our forests are dying. I mean, I don't. Where should you read that? Oh, Canadian forests dying? It's like a thing. I don't believe we have any problems with like overforestation here. Yeah, apparently deforestation in Canada is among the world's lowest. Canada's a world leader in sustainable forest management. Let's be fair, this is from the Government of Canada's website, so maybe Maybe it's like Canadian propaganda, but I believe we're actually like amongst the best for our forests. Well, like Canada, like carbon emissions. I'm curious about that. This year, carbon emissions have been going down in the past couple years. I don't understand this thing about Canada apparently being bad. We're literally been going down in the past several years. Well, the thing is that I think that capitalism isn't necessarily the most efficient way to drive something like public transit. Public transit to me ought to be like a socially, like a publicly funded, socially like socially done thing, which is what it is in BC anyway. I don't want profit incentivized like transit, but profit incentivized like, you know, everything else sounds good. Like where the priority is like the service of the people, I think it should be like not profit oriented. But where it's like, you know, the creation of goods, it probably should be profit oriented. It's a long conversation though. It's a big conversation to have. I don't necessarily know if it's a good idea to have that big of a conversation on a stream about CK3 Mega Lol. I would say we just died, and I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been paying so much attention. Yeah, no, bro. Yeah, correct. Publicly funded social projects, but not a socialist. That's right. It's called social democracy. It's called Scandinavia. Like, that's right. I'm not a socialist, but I believe in publicly funded social projects. You're acting like it's a gotcha, but it's not. There are so many capitalist countries who engage in social programs, and they're still capitalists. Also, yeah, the goal is wrong. That's obviously not the correct goal. It's completely valid to be a capitalist who believes in socialized institutions. There's nothing weird about that. Like, there's nothing wrong or weird or untenable or hypocritical about that belief. Because I don't believe in like laissez-faire, like no regulation, no nothing capitalism. That's obviously market socialism. Market socialism is a dumb term because having a market means you are a capitalist. If you have a market, you're a capitalist. It's like Scandinavia. No, I know, yeah, but social capitalism, whatever you want to call it, market socialism is like, if I Google that term, I'm curious what it'll even tell me. Yeah, so market socialism involves the social and cooperative ownership of the means of production. That to me is socialism. Like, you can't have that then. Well, no, sorry, not that you can't have that. That means it's not capitalism. It's not really a market if the means of production are held socially and publicly, because people aren't trading then. It's just people that own stuff. It also is one that contains a mix of worker-owned and national privately owned enterprises. In that sense, maybe it could be, because obviously in that case, the mix makes more sense. But I would call that a mixed economy. I don't know why you call that market social. That would just be a mixed economy. Exactly. Yeah. When a state funds building a road, doesn't necessarily mean they're direct. So exactly. There's not markets in that market mechanized means of production. Okay, there's a lot to read here. I'm not gonna read all of this obviously right now. But point is, like, it's not mutually exclusive to fund things publicly and to be a capitalist. It's not at all mutually exclusive. Fan of capitalism? I think so. Very different from American idea of socialism. What Americans call socialism is literally just like what we call welfare. Like, literally, it's ridiculous. Like Americans will call socialism like everything socialism. Everything is socialism. If the government does to Americans, communism and socialism is when the government does something. Like, literally, that's what that is. Like, if you say if the government does something, that's communism and socialism. Of course, it's not the case. Exactly, capitalism and libertarianism are the same thing. Exactly, libertarianism uses capitalism as part of its ideology, but capitalism is merely the belief that, like, capital is divided according to private ownership. That's basically capitalism at a very rough level. Exactly, Nagan. The more stuff the government does, the more socialister they are. That's right. Okay. That was exactly. That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. That's actually enough Crusader Kings 3 for now, because I need to keep the stream short today because I have stuff I gotta do. But I told my Discord. I told my Discord that what do you call it? I have an announcement to make for like a long-term project. Thanks for the follow subscription, Jonathan Moskovsky. I have an announcement to make for my next project, right? So those of you that don't know, I tend to I tend to like do these long-term projects, right, with my YouTube, where it's like the last long-term project was the CK3 All Achievement Guide, and that was like a big, like, several month long project, right? 2.5 hour long video that came out of it. I have a new project I'm doing, and this one is going to be related to languages, because I want to do that, right? Let me close CK3 real quick. I'm going to give you guys a quick preview of what I'm doing, okay? Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys hyped? Give me a second. Oh, what's this? Am I being raided? This is Augusti. Okay, it's Augusti. I was gonna say this is not a good time. Hold on. I'm about to explain my next project. What's up, Gusty? How you doing though? How's it doing, boys? What's up? Welcome on in. Let me open this up. So I'm planning a new long-term project for the YouTube and for the stream. Okay, so we can probably stop the timer now. How's everyone doing? What's up, everyone? Come on in. Come on in. We were just playing CK3 a second ago. Now I would just finish playing CK3, and I'm gonna go and explain my next YouTube project. Okay. Is it ever gonna launch? I want you. I'm gonna mute the audio so you guys can't hear what's coming, so you can't get spoiled, and I'll show it on screen suddenly, and you'll be like, "Wait, what?" Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Just gonna show up. See. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Hide the camera. Okay. So those of you who might remember, okay, that I learned German a little while ago. Relatively okay German for a YouTube video. Now the next step in my German language learning experience is going to be playing Skyrim modded. Okay, I have 91 mods loaded, and I'm playing it in German. And I'm gonna learn as much German as I can in the coming future. I'm gonna learn as much German as I can in the coming time, okay, by just playing Skyrim, using the basic German that I learned in the past like 3-ish months during Patreon, when I was doing that German video. Those of you that don't know, I made one video on my channel is on German, and that was my attempt at making a YouTube video about Victoria 3, using just like a couple months of German grammar studies and stuff, right? I'm going to be extending my German learning now by just playing Skyrim completely German. To give you an idea, okay, I have a shit ton of mods installed. Okay, I'll show you here. I have a bunch of mods installed. Okay, and there's some ones I got rid of. That's fine though. Okay, and I'm gonna do like a whole ass like entire playthrough of Skyrim on stream. And I'm gonna document my learnings as I go. You can see here, it's all in German. There's mods and stuff with it. I have to still work around a little bit. Some of the mods still are in English. I'll try to get that fixed. Over here, the home decoration guys in English, but most of it has been turned German. I have a ton of mods though, and I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna try to stream every single day, just a couple hours of Skyrim, where I play in German, and then I'm gonna take notes about like the things I get wrong and the things I don't understand, and I'm gonna try to learn German by just playing Skyrim basically. All the in-game books, yeah, literally, like here, if I go check a book, there should be a book somewhere around here, surely. There should be a book somewhere around here I can go find to go read. Surely. There's not going to be a single one, is there? There's not going to be a single book in this house. I bet. Come on, give me a book. There's not going to be a single one. Okay, I can go find a book. Hold on. I know this is kind of a random sidetrack, but just... Okay. Well, this is going to be really fun. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to document all the things that I have trouble with when I'm playing, and I'll make a big YouTube video discussing my findings of learning, or whatever religion, this is fine. Learning German. Why is this... Okay, hold on. Maybe some of my mods aren't working all that well. It's fine, surely. I gotta find a book. I don't know, actually have to find a book. The point is that this is going to be the new sort of long-term project. I'm going to be playing Skyrim on my stream. I'm going to try to play every day. Oh, there's a book. We try to play every day. Are these actually in... No, they're in English. Fuck me. Okay, I gotta try to fix this. There must be a mod I have that's overwriting the books and not making them German. It's fine. Don't worry. Okay. Point is, this is gonna be the new long-term project. I think I just have a mod that's probably overwriting books. Like if I check my mod list, there's probably a mod I have that's making the books get turned English. But even like this, like Zaubertrank des Weilchens. What is that? I actually have no idea what that would be. What does that do? Du schlagst beim Weilchen 13 Sekunden lang 10% mehr Preise heraus. I have no... Isn't that like 10% better prices? Is this like what is Weilchens? Is that like charisma or something? That reminded me of a porn girl video. Girl got brainwashed by brothel master. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ. But yeah, why German? Because my patrons voted for it a while back. That is why German. The patrons asked for it, so they shall receive it. I'm excited to do this, and it's gonna be a good YouTube video because I was thinking like, yo, like I don't want to just sit here doing like, let me get my camera back on for you guys because I know you guys probably missed my beautiful face. Hold on. There is it. There it is. I don't want to sit around doing like Victoria 3 and like CK3 guides for my whole life. I want to make some like more content outside of those games. And it'd be a really good YouTube video that I think the algorithm would absolutely love. Would be like, can Skyrim teach me German? And then it's like a guard, and then I Photoshop like a Whiterun guard's outfit to be like a German flag, and then like I don't know. The point is, it'd be a good video, and I'm planning to spend 3 months on this. So I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna stream this game in German. I'm gonna speak in English for the streams. I don't want to break my brain, so I'm gonna be talking in English, but I'll be streaming the game in German. And then I'll see how much I can learn just from playing the game. And I'll have you guys in chat to kind of chit-chat with as I do this and to kind of talk about my discoveries. So here, it says Snowberry, but I believe it's actually Schneebeeren. It shouldn't be that way. Yeah, and I also have to fix the books. The books aren't in German. I need to get that fixed. There's probably a mod I have somewhere that's not translating. Eisendoch. I know Eisen is iron. So Dolch must be dagger. Elfenbogen. That must be like elf bow. This kind of thing. Elfenschwert. I guess that's like elf sword. Elfenstreitkolben. I don't know, dude. The point is, I think it'll be really fun. I think it'll be good. Potions of the Haggling. Nice. By the way, okay. That's gonna be it for the stream, though. This is me announcing this. I'm just gonna start it tomorrow, I guess. I mean, fuck it. But I'm only gonna play a couple hours because I don't have all the time in the world. So what you might see is like the Skyrim stream that I do each day might only be like an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's probably not going to be too long. Although first off, I do need to go and like fix my mods because clearly some of the mods aren't covered. I'll do some troubleshooting and all that, and I'll get things to work properly. But yeah, that's that. Prussian or Low German, or are you just going to include High German? I'm just doing High German. I'm only going to do like standard. Like Germany, the country, High German. I will put a mod list together. Not doing it right yet, but I'll put a mod list. But yeah, okay. That's it for the stream, though, boys. I hope you guys had a good time. I had a good time. The thing about Augustus over in CK3, we'll see about that. I might do something like that. I don't know. It seemed like it was tough to make that work, and I've started someone more powerful. We'll see though. I'll see what I can do. And yeah, it was nice hanging out with you guys. It was good discussions today. I enjoyed all that. Thank you. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay, peace out, boys. Peace out.